Summary.
When Sienna is asked to look after a member of the notoriously ruthless pack nearby, she is not allowed to tell anyone where her new friend comes from because the pack is feared so much. Infamous for their brutal takeovers and treatment of trespassers, the Black Mountain Pack is a name whispered in terror amongst her pack. Imagine her surprise when she finds out the future alpha is her mate.
Chapter 1 Sienna.
Thank you everyone for coming this evening. It is great to see the whole pack together again. I'd especially like to welcome back a few members who have been away studying at university. It is lovely to have you back with us. Alpha John addresses the crowd as we sit quietly on the rows of seats lined in front of the small stage. Pack meetings are occasionally held, usually when there is something important to discuss. As he mentions the university students, his eyes travel over everyone, pausing to rest on me. I smile politely in response. I've been away at university for 3 years. I'm 21 now and long overdue a mate. I'm perfectly capable on my own and uni has only made me more independent. If I should happen to find my mate soon, I might ask him where the hell he has been. I glance over at one of my best friends, Cassie. She rolls her eyes and fake yawns. I smirk at her, knowing how much she hates pack meetings. Cassie is a free spirit. She has no interest in meeting her mate. She enjoys male attention too much for that. She says she's too young to meet him yet and having way too much fun to be tied down now. She isn't too promiscuous, although she has slept with more guys than me. Our other friend, Kayla, is the total opposite. She is an innocent virgin who, thanks to Cassie and I, has a very dirty mind. She wants to save herself for her mate, and whilst I respect that, it was not something I aimed for. Most mates lose their virginity before meeting each other nowadays. More than likely my mate is not a virgin, so why should I be one just because I'm a girl? Alpha John finally finishes his speech and slowly everyone starts trickling out of the pack hall, towards the pack house, where a party is being held in honor of the summer solstice coming up. I'm going to go see Cass and Kayla, I tell my parents. My dad frowns. I know he wants me to stay with them all evening, and I am also aware that he is not a massive fan of Cassie and her influences. I have a complicated relationship with my father. He is quite strict, or at least tries to be. I refuse to listen much to him. Our pack is safe. We have a giant wall around our territory protecting us. We are a small pack with a small territory, so no other pack see us as a threat or as a prize to capture. My parents were raised in this pack like me. Unlike me, they have fully taken on its teachings, whereas I have my reservations. My parents don't understand why I want to go to the city. They are very happy with the village we live in on the pack's territory. Okay, darling. We'll see you at home. Text me if you are going to be out late. My mum replies before my dad can object. Great, see you later. I call over my shoulder, already weaving through people over to Cassie. Cassandra Blake is beautiful. Her hair falls in inky black waves down to her waist and her eyes are the most stunning gray. She has amazing hourglass curves and if she wasn't my best friend, I'd probably hate her out of jealousy. I also happen to be jealous of the fact she's 53. At 57 I feel like a giant, and I hate it. Cass is confident, sexy and way too reckless sometimes. Please, goddess, tell me we're going out tonight. It's your first night back. Cass pouts and I sigh, knowing my dad will not approve. Oh well, fuck it. Yeah, come back to mine to get ready, I say, grinning when I think of how mad it will make my father. Yay. Oh, look, there's Kayla. Cass points over my shoulder, and I turn to see Kayla grin and jog over to us. Kayla Blackwood is 55 of sweet innocence. She has huge boobs and a flat stomach, 2 things most girls would kill for. She has straight, shoulder-length blonde hair, and the bluest eyes I've ever seen. She is bubbly, kind and awful at holding grudges. And then there's me. I'm the tall, skinny one with an average figure, thick thighs and an ass that appeared from nowhere. I'm bottom heavy. The girls come back to mine, much to my father's disdain, and we get ready to go out. 2 hours and 3 bottles of wine later, the 3 of us are ready, dolled up in tight dresses and false eyelashes. We go to the most popular club in the town, just across the border of our territory. It is mostly a human town and is not owned by any pack. Shifters like to come here because there are no trespassing issues. Another 2 hours later and Cass and I are at the bar, ordering more drinks for the 3 of us. How she is still a virgin is beyond me, Cass comments as we watch Kayla dance with a guy, rubbing her gorgeous body all over him. I know. I do feel for her though as soon as guys find out it sends them crazy. I roll my eyes, eagerly sipping the drink the bartender sets down in front of me. I know. It's like they go into heat or something. Cass jokes and we make our way over to Kayla. I push the guy away and take his place, dancing behind Kayla whilst Cass dances in front, placing my friend in the sandwich of protection. We stay until the club closes. Kayla pulls that night, and Cass pulls a lot, but I don't get with anyone. The three of us collapse onto Cassie's bed at 4 in the morning and sleep until afternoon. I wake up to a banging headache, drowning in a bed of half-naked girls. I slide off the end of the bed, not wanting to wake the girls on either side of me. Cassie lives on her own. Her parents bought this house for her. I jump in the shower, glad that I took my makeup off before sleeping last night. I wrap a towel around myself, trying to dry off. When I step back into her room, the girls are awake and drinking cups of tea. There is a third mug waiting for me on the desk. "You're an angel, thank you," I tell Kayla as she hands me the mug. "What are we gonna do today, then?" Kayla asks. I glance out the window, happy to see the sun is out. I've got to go home and unpack all my stuff from uni. Dad's annoyed it's all piled in the corridor. I pause to roll my eyes. "But let's go for a coffee first," I suggest, and the girls nod in agreement. An hour later, I step through the door of my house. Mum looks up as I come into the kitchen and smiles in approval at my outfit. I'm wearing a long pencil skirt and a silk blouse she bought for me. My parents always want me looking smart. I wear sweats and hoodies a lot, much to my mother's horror. I spoke to Alpha John last night. There's a male shifter joining our pack for a few weeks. I said you'd love to help him settle in. You know, show him around and introduce him to everyone, Mum says brightly, causing my dad to lower his paper and frown. "Is he mated?" my father asks sternly, and I sigh heavily. "Relax, Dad. He's not gonna ravish me," I joke, and he narrows his eyes at me. "That's not funny," he mutters glumly and returns to his paper. "No, he's not mated," my mother replies, grinning mischievously at me. She's dying for me to meet my mate. "Fine, I'll show him around." I sigh again, annoyed that Mum is always volunteering me up for stuff. I grab my handbag and keys and drive over to the pack house, where the Alpha and his family lives.
Chapter 2 Sienna.
I go up to the double doors and press my ID against the keypad on the wall. The door clicks open for me. Only pack members can enter the Alpha's house. I walk down the corridor, breathing in the comforting smell of the oak floorboards and paneling. I knock on the door and wait for Alpha John to call out. When he does, I step inside and shut the door behind me. Walking up to his desk, I lower my head as a sign of respect. "Alpha," I greet and wait another moment before raising my head. Alpha John smiles at me. "Please sit down, Sienna." He gestures to one of the chairs in front of his desk. "I presume your mother explained what you're here for. To meet a man who will be joining our pack for a while." I reply and Alpha John nods. Alpha John is in his early 40s. He's mated to our incredible Luna, Tia, and they have 3 children together. "Yes. Now, I don't want you to be alarmed, but I think you should know that this man is from the Black Mountain Pack," he tells me, his eyes watching me carefully. "Excuse me, sir," I sputter, completely shocked. The Black Mountain Pack is the biggest threat to our pack. They're violent and regularly challenge nearby packs for land. Just last year, they decimated the Clearwater Pack for their land. Apparently, they had asked politely first, and then took the land by force when the Alpha had declined. Their Alpha Fane is cruel and fierce. He is greedy for land, and we are lucky that they don't view our territory as valuable. We are never allowed to venture onto their territory, nor would anyone ever want to, as it is rumored that trespassers are killed on sight. I know it may seem alarming, but this man is actually very friendly and polite, Alpha John explains, wringing his hands nervously. "Why did you agree to it?" I blurt out, momentarily forgetting my place. His Alpha was very persuasive, Alpha John says, and I realize Alpha Fane must have threatened him. "Anyway, his name is Cade and he's going to be with us for 2 weeks, working for Dr. Green. It seems to qualify as a pack doctor he needs to practice somewhere other than his own pack." "What, like work experience?" "Yes, exactly like that. He needs to have a reference from us to pass his exam. It'll only be for 2 weeks, Alpha John explains. I get the feeling that our pack was chosen because no other packs would agree. Okay, that's fine," I agree uneasily. I'm not entirely sure what to expect when I meet him. "I've told everyone that he's coming from another pack. You are the only one who knows his true origin and I would prefer to keep it that way. It'll cause alarm and probably create a lot of issues for Cade," Alpha John clarifies. "That being said, I would like to keep an eye on him at first. Keep him on the territory so that, if he does try anything, you'll be safe." I nod silently. "I only need you to show him around, make him feel welcome." He'll be staying in my house, don't worry. That's fine. Just a quick question, sir, why me? You are one of the more accepting members of the pack. I know, should he let slip which pack he truly comes from, others wouldn't take it so well, he replies, and I feel flattered that he has chosen me. Right, if you're ready, you can go meet him now. He's with Dr. Green in the practice. I thank Alpha John and exit the pack house, walking directly across the square to the pack's medical practice. I push open the double doors and approach the receptionist as she sits behind her desk. Hi, I'm looking for Cade. He's new here, I explain, and she smiles at me. Dr. Green told me you were coming. They are in room 2, she replies, gesturing to a door behind me. I thank her and knock on the door, stepping inside when Dr. Green tells me to enter. Dr. Green is in her 30s, with auburn red hair and warm brown eyes. Next to her is who I presume is Cade. I don't know what I was expecting, but he's not it. I thought every member of the Black Mountain Pack looked menacing and scary, with lots of tattoos or scars or something. Cade is tall, about 6 feet, with light brown hair that comes down to his shoulders and pale gray eyes that aren't menacing at all. He's well built and obviously works out, but other than his large muscles, he doesn't look like a Black Mountain Pack member, no piercings or tattoos or scars. Hi, I'm Cade, he introduces himself, smiling and putting out his hand for me to shake. Never in my life would I have thought I would be shaking hands with a Black Mountain Pack member. I'm Sienna, nice to meet you, I respond, shaking his hand politely. Good to see you again, Sienna. Cade's finished his training for today if you two want to head out, Dr. Green says, and I nod, leading Cade out to the square. So, what do you want to do? Do you want a tour? I turn to face him, eyeing him up curiously. He is just so not what I expected. Sure, that sounds great. He smiles at me. I begin to show him round the pack. It doesn't take long, seeing as our pack is so small. Cade is very polite, showing genuine interest in everything I tell him about the buildings and our pack's history. For a brief moment I wonder whether he's been sent here to collect information on us so that they can attack our pack, but after seeing how sweet he's been today, I find that hard to believe. We end up in a coffee shop on the territory and stay there for 2 hours, just chatting about our lives. I find myself smiling most of the time. We have so much in common and he's very funny. He talks mainly about his interests. He dodges my questions about his family, but I learn that he's 22. He doesn't get on that well with his parents, his father in particular. I can relate to him on that. I ask him whether it is true about his pack killing trespassers on sight, and he explains that it is only if they are deemed a threat, but executions are a regular occurrence in his pack. Determined to make him feel welcome, I invite him back to dinner at my house. My parents like him, my dad especially when he finds out Cade poses no interest in me. I find it funny how nice and friendly my parents are to him, clueless to which pack he comes from. If only they knew, they would never let him enter the house, let alone sit at the dinner table. Later on, in the evening when Cade leaves, I call Cass and Kayla to let them know what he's like. I'm meeting with the girls tomorrow and I decide to invite Cade along with us so they can meet him. I pick Cade up from the practice after lunch when he finishes. Hi, how are you? I ask, pulling him into a hug. I'm surprised when he hugs me back and I lift up onto my tiptoes. I've never had any guy friends this tall before. Good, thanks. What about you? How was your day? He asks me and I smile. He's so polite. I drive us to Cass's house. I introduce them and just like I predicted, they all get on really well. We spend the next few hours just chatting and watching TV. I feel kind of guilty for judging Cade before I knew him. I thought he was going to be some angry, menacing dickhead, but actually, he's incredibly sweet and polite. He explains that he likes being able to talk to us girls for once because nearly all the girls in his pack are mated, making it very hard to be friends with them without jealous mates getting in the way. For the next week, I meet him after work, and we hang out together or with the girls. I'm glad he's come to visit our pack. He's definitely made life more interesting for us all. I'm surprised that Cass and Kayla haven't made a move on him yet. He's very attractive, but he's not my type. He's too sweet for me, but I enjoy his company a lot. On Saturday night, we decide to have a girls' night out, plus Cade. The alcohol makes Cade relax more and he tells us about his overbearing father and how he's never really felt like he fits in his pack. He doesn't tell us any more about his life back home. He doesn't ever talk about it. Kayla and I go get drinks whilst Cassie takes Cade off to dance. Poor Cade, she's eating him alive, Kayla comments as we stand and watch Cassie turn around and grind on Cade. I burst out laughing as I see the blush on his cheeks. She's doing it on purpose, bless him. I sigh, he's definitely not my type. I'm always blushing, I can't be with a guy who blushes all the time as well, we'll be hopeless together. Yeah, she is. Just you wait until she meets her mate. He'll definitely meet his match with her, I'm sure, Kayla says. She means it as a compliment. I wish that I'm as fierce as Cassie. I know, God is save him because he's going to have his work cut out for him, I mutter jokingly and pay for the drinks. We grab the drinks and head back to where Cass has thankfully removed her claws from Cade.
Chapter 3 Sienna.
Oh, my head, I groan and roll over, screaming when my face hits someone's foot. I hate feet. I sit up suddenly and burst out laughing as I take in the situation I am currently in. We came back to Cassie's last night. I went upstairs straight away and crashed on the bed. However, I did not know that I was going to be joined by everyone else. Cassie is lying next to me, but in between us are Kayla and Cade, both upside down in the bed, hence, the feet in my face. Someone could have warned me that we were going to top and tail, I say, unable to control my laughter as everyone stirs awake at my voice. I'm sorry, I forgot there's no bedding on the spare bed, Cassie grumbles, stretching as she sat up. It seemed like a good idea last night, Kayla replies, smiling sheepishly at me. Morning, ladies, Cade greets us. His long dark hair hangs messily around his head as he stretches and grins at us. And so, it continues. Aware that Cade only has a week left with us, we spend most days with him, going out in the evenings and hanging out in the day. I never expected us all to get along so well. I think the girls and I are just grateful for someone new in the pack. On Cade's last day, the girls and I drop him off at work and say goodbye. It's not like we won't see him again, but he's now got his final exam back at his own pack, which means he'll be busy for a couple weeks. It's not exactly like we can just pop over and see him. If my parents found out I'd visited the Black Mountain pack, they'd pitch a fit. I'm not even sure I'd go anyway. I've heard enough things about that pack to scare me off for life, and something tells me they are very different than Cade. I drive into town to do some shopping. Kayla's 21st birthday is coming up in 2 months and I want to get something really good for her. I'm in the middle of paying for some clothes when my phone rings. I smile as I see Cade's face on the screen. Hi, see. I finished early and I'm back at my house now. I was just wondering if you wanted to meet up for a bit, he asks. I finish at the till and head over to my car outside. Yeah, sure. Where do you want to meet? Well, I thought you could come here, seeing as I'll probably have you girls over eventually. Why don't you come today? Are the girls free? He questions and an anxious feeling settles in my stomach. No, they're both working till this evening. I'm not sure about coming over, Cade. I don't think your alpha will like me being on your territory, I say uncertainly. When someone wants to cross into our territory, you're meant to give at least 24 hours warning to gain clearance, and that's with my nice alpha. I can't imagine Cade's alpha takes it well. Okay, don't worry, I get it. Do you know where the old farm is? At the end of town. It's on the border of my pack's territory, he suggests, and I feel much more comfortable with that suggestion. Great, I'm okay with that. Good, are you free to come now? Yeah, I've just got in my car. Okay, drive to the old farm, you can park there. If you head into the woods, you'll come across a clearing that's on the border. I'll meet you there and we can go for a run or something, he replies, and I start the engine. Okay, see you in a bit. We say our goodbyes and I pull out of the parking space and drive down the high street towards the edge of town. The old farm is a rundown barn right off the main road that leaves the town. I turn left down it and drive to the end where the road stops. I park the car and grab my handbag, so I can put my clothes in it if we go for a run. I'm glad I wore my chunky heeled boots today, so I don't sink in the grass as I walk past the faded red barn and towards the tree line. I'm grateful for my jacket as I step into the shade of the canopy, but I wish Cade had mentioned this earlier because my tight skirt doesn't exactly make traipsing through the forest easy.
Chapter 4 Cade.
I grab my jacket and put my phone in the pocket, ready to leave to meet Sienna. She's so lovely. I'm lucky to have had her and her friends make me feel so welcome. I definitely was not expecting a warm welcome if the Red Forest pack knew where I'd come from. As I'm tying my shoes, my father appears in front of me, and I hold back the sigh of annoyance. I don't have time for this right now. Cade, a word, he says. Before I have time to argue, he turns and goes into his office. Muttering under my breath, I follow him in. Yes, father. I wonder what it is I've done now. Always the disappointment, me. How was the pack? Did they treat you well? He asks gravely. His face is absolutely miserable. He constantly looks pissed off. Very well, sir. They were incredibly welcoming. Good. How was the practice? Did you get all the help you needed? Yes, sir. Dr. Green was very helpful. Good. Your exam is in 2 weeks. Are you prepared? He asks. I resist, rolling my eyes. I really don't have time for this right now. I have to meet Sienna. Yes, sir. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go meet someone, I reply, groaning as my mother comes into the study. Meet someone? Is it a girl? My father asks, and I give him a look that shows just how annoyed I am that he said that. Great, he's going to set Mum off now. 3.2.1 A girl. What girl? You've met a girl? My mother asks inquisitively, her eyes bright with excitement. I open my mouth to reply, but the phone on my father's desk rings. He gestures for us both to leave the room. I roll my eyes as Mum hooks her arm in mine and guides me out of the study, asking questions that I don't even hear. Mum, I'm meeting a girl, but she's just a friend. She's not my mate, I tell her, trying to dislodge my hand from her vice-like grip as she pulls me into the kitchen and sits me down. What do you mean she's just a friend? Is she pretty? My mother asks, flicking the switch on the kettle. If she thinks I'm going to sit and have a cup of tea and tell her all about it, she's very much mistaken. She's very pretty, Mum, but she's a brunette. You know blondes are my type. I sigh heavily, knowing this isn't going to stop her. For the next 5 minutes, I'm quizzed on everything about poor Sienna. It's probably a good thing I didn't invite her onto our territory. Mum would have pounced on her. Anyway, I've really got to go meet her. I manage to slip away and out of the kitchen. I grab my coat and rush out of the back door and across the garden into the forest. It'll only take me a couple of minutes to walk to where I told Sienna to wait for me.
Sienna.
You'll come across a clearing that's on the border. He made it sound so easy, but here I am, over a mile later and still trekking through leaves. If I were wearing my suede boots, I'd have killed him, but luckily my black ones are withstanding the hike. Just typical that I'd lose phone signal. I mutter angrily out loud to myself, checking my phone for the millionth time to find it still says no service. I sigh with relief as the trees part and I enter a large clearing. This has to be what he means. I wait for a few moments, turning my airplane mode on and off again, hoping to find some signal. A noise cuts through the silence that raises all the hairs on my body. A howl, long and loud, sounds through the trees. I shiver as I realize that wolf must be from Black Mountain Pack. Goddess, what am I doing here? I try and calm my breathing as I frantically look around for anywhere to hide. My eyes land on a large tree on the opposite side of the clearing. Its branches are low enough that I could climb it. Another howl sounds, this time followed by more. There's a group of them, and they definitely sound closer. My heart beats rapidly as I panic and run across the clearing to the tree. I swing my handbag over my shoulder and lift myself up onto the first branch. I carefully stand up on it and reach for the second branch above me, pulling myself onto it. I look down and suddenly wish I hadn't. I hate heights and I'm about 3 meters off the ground. That's enough to make me feel uncomfortable. I grip the trunk of the tree and check my phone again, still nothing. Goddess, I'm gonna kill 𝐻𝐿. A growl makes my stomach twist into knots. I sneak a look down at the ground and quickly slap a hand over my mouth to hold in the scream. 2 gray wolves walk under the tree, their eyes searching around. Are they looking for me? Do they know I'm here? I'm not even trespassing. If they find me, I can explain, and they'll realize it's all a big misunderstanding.
You, come down from there. An authoritative female voice sounds from bottom of the tree. I look down and say my prayers as an angry face looks back up at me. I start to slide off the branch and down the tree. When I reach the ground, she grabs my handbag off of me. I'm so sorry. This is such a misunderstanding. She cuts me off before I can finish. Put your hands behind your back, now, she orders, and I quickly do as she asks. She hands my bag to a man who starts to go through it. Boy, be careful with that, I snap. He glares at me and continues his search. The woman with the angry face roughly grabs my wrists and clips silver handcuffs tightly round them. I realize I'm surrounded by 4 wolves and 3 people, the bitch and handbag groper included. This is a complete mistake. I'm not trespassing. I'm meeting a friend, I tell her. She ignores me and turns her head over to the trees behind her. She lowers her head, and it occurs to me someone important has arrived. All the wolves and the 2 guys bow their heads in respect. Even the bitch lowers her head. I look over her shoulder to see who's coming and immediately regret it.
Chapter 5 Sienna.
The man who approaches us is over 6 feet. He's huge. He has ridiculously wide shoulders and a broad chest. His face, oh sweet moon goddess, his face. He has black unruly hair that is long on top and cropped short at the sides, piercing green eyes, an impressive jawline, and beautiful lips. Before I can stare and embarrass myself further, I quickly lower my head to look down at my feet. The last thing I need is to disrespect a high-ranking member of the Black Mountain Pack. Beta, this is the female we found on our territory, the bitch announces, and I bite my lip to keep my mouth shut. I will wait until the beta addresses me to let him know this is a simple misunderstanding. It would be rude to just talk without being addressed first. My heart begins beating wildly as he comes over and stands in front of me. My eyes widen as I take in his thick muscular thighs, stretching the faded jeans he wears. It's almost comical, his large combat boots in line with my small ones. I resist the urge to raise my head, even when his mouth-watering, masculine scent washes over me. My head spins with the tantalizing aroma. Wow, he smells good. I jump as he raises a big hand and holds my chin, lifting my face up so that my eyes meet his. The moment is truly surreal. His delicious scent overwhelms my senses. His rough hand sends wave after wave of tingles across my skin, and his green eyes bore deep into mine, full of shock and excitement. Holy Mother of Moon Goddess, I found him. My mouth falls open in surprise of finding my mate, and his penetrating eyes drop down to my lips. I swear I nearly faint at the sudden flash of need in his eyes. Neither of us say anything, and I shift uncomfortably, causing the handcuffs around my wrists to chink together. The noise seems to snap him out of a daze. He drops his hand and takes a small step back. I miss the contact immediately. "Brianna, hand me the key to those cuffs," he speaks for the first time, and shiver of pleasure runs down my spine at the sound of his unbelievably deep and husky voice. Brianna looks startled for a moment, and then hurries to get the key out of her pocket. "Beta," she mumbles, placing the key in his upturned hand. His eyes don't leave me until he moves behind me to unlock the cuffs. He gently holds my wrists, as he does so, sending tingles up my arms. He hands the cuffs to Brianna and comes round to face me again. "What is your name?" he asks, his eyes never leaving mine. I open my mouth to reply, but someone beats me to it. "Sienna." Cade's voice calls out and everyone turns to face him as he runs over to us. Relief washes over me at the sight of him. He can get me out of this situation. He runs over to me, and I throw my arms around him. "Cade, thank God you're here," I tell him, relaxing as he puts his arms around to hug me. "It's okay, I'm so sorry I was late." A growl cuts Cade off, and out of nowhere I'm grabbed and pulled away from Cade. The beta, or rather my mate, shoves me behind him and holds me there with both of his hands. I look over his shoulder at a very confused Cade. "Don't touch her," my mate hisses, and Cade looks even more confused. I cautiously slide my hands down my mate's back, down to his waist, and gently squeeze him. I can't resist smiling as the growls emanating from his chest abruptly stop. "Say, what is going on?" Cade asks curiously, and I step out from behind my mate. He quickly puts an arm around my waist. He's my mate," I reply, looking at him sheepishly. I feel awful as a look of horror comes over Cade's face, and he turns to glare at my mate. "No way," he says angrily, which, in turn, pisses off my mate, who growls and tightens his grip on me. "She's mine," he seethes, and I am reluctant to try and disagree with him whilst he is in this mood. Cade seems to have brought some sense back into my head, and I realize we are still in the forest surrounded by guards. This is probably not the best place to chat. I think we should do this somewhere else," as Cade can explain. "This was all a big misunderstanding," I say, looking over to where the bitch Brianna glares at me. "You're right. Come on, come back to the house," Cade replies glumly and turns around, walking away from us. I hesitate for a moment, risking a glance at my mate. I roll my eyes as I see him glaring at Cade's back. I thank the guard who hands me back my handbag and go to follow Cade. My mate grabs my hand and spins me back around to face him. "You're mine," he reiterates, and I only nod silently, unsure of what to say right now. We all make our way through the forest, towards Cade's house, an awkward silence surrounding us. What a weird day this is.
Chapter 6 Sienna.
As we walk back to the house, my rationality starts to come back to me, and I sneak a glance at my mate next to me. What am I going to do? Not only is my mate a member of the Black Mountain Pack, but he's also their beta, which means he's very close with the alpha. I look over at the tattoos that cover the back of his right hand, up his arm, and disappear under his t-shirt, peeking up from the collar on his neck. He has a few piercings in his ear. If my mother sees him, she'll pitch a fit. Or faint. Or both probably. It will be interesting to see which one first. My eyes drop down to his large hands, and a shiver runs down my back at the thought that this man has more than likely killed someone. What should I do? What if he rejects me? My thoughts rush through my head, making it hard to focus. I'm relieved when we come to a large 3-story house and Cade opens the door, leading my mate and I through the corridor to the open-plan kitchen. Luckily, the house appears to be empty. I stand a couple meters away from my mate, unsure how to act with him now that my common sense is coming back. I always thought I'd meet my mate, he'd be somewhat normal, and it would all be easy from there. I did not expect this, and I certainly didn't ask for it either. What was the moon goddess thinking? So you two are mates then? Cade asks calmly, but his narrowed eyes and frown tell me that he is less than impressed. Yes, we are, my mate replies. I still don't know his name. Cade looks at me for confirmation, and I nod before I can open my mouth and make more of a mess of this. Do you have any idea what this means for her? Have you thought about her at all? Cade hisses through his teeth at my mate. I presume her must mean me. Of course, I have, but what do you expect me to do? What can I do? He argues back. I look at the both of them. I'm completely confused as to what's going on here. You can let her go back to her pack. It's better for her that she does. Cade insists, and my mate growls next to me. She is not leaving me. He shouts and I flinch. This situation needs to be sorted. She is right here, I say loudly, causing them both to look at me. What the hell are you guys talking about? I'm so confused. Both of them sigh in unison. He can explain it all to you. I need to go clear my head, Cade muttered, starting to walk out the room. I rush over and grab his arm. Don't leave me here, tell me what's going on, I ask, and Cade looks down at me, his eyes full of sympathy. I'll be outside, come out when he's done talking to you, he says simply. He pulls himself out of my grip and walks out the room. A few moments later, the front door slams. I turn around to see my mate glaring at me. Well, this is going to be fun. I don't even know your name, I tell him, and his eyes soften, making me relax. Jackson, but everyone calls me Jax, he says, and I nod. I like Jax. Care to explain what you two were talking about? I ask, moving over to sit on one of the sofas. My mate frowns and comes to sit down next to me. I tense up as his thigh brushes against me. My brother and I don't exactly see eye to eye, he begins, but I cut him off by holding my hand up. Your brother, I squeak in surprise. Cade is his brother. Cade and I are brothers, yes, Jax says, frowning at me. He never told me that, I explain, and Jax narrows his eyes at me. What exactly is your relationship with Cade? You two seem very comfortable with each other, Jax accuses, and it's my turn to narrow my eyes at him. He's a close friend, that's all, I defend myself, and luckily, Jax seems to believe me. Anyway, my brother has a difficult time accepting our pack. My dad offered us both the position of alpha, but Cade declined it. He'd much rather be the pack doctor than be a leader. So right now, your dad is the alpha. Yes, I was meant to take over his position next month, but now that I've met my mate, he'll bring the ceremony forward, he explains, and my stomach twists with dread. And what exactly do you expect of me? I ask nervously. He frowns at me like he doesn't understand the question, or rather, why I'm asking it. You will move here and become my Luna, obviously, he states simply, and I take a deep breath to calm myself. I'm not moving to your pack, I've only just met you. I stand up and take a few steps back. You are my mate, of course you're moving to my pack, he growls, standing up from the sofa and closing the distance between us. No, I'm not. You don't understand, my parents are not exactly accepting. This isn't going to go well, I try to explain, but he grabs me and pulls me against his hard chest. If you think I'm going to let your parents' opinion stop me from being with you, then you don't know me very well. You're right, I don't know you very well, I retort. Jax looks down at me, and I curse myself for melting under his intense gaze. I've always felt too tall, my friends have always been shorter than me. Yet, with Jax, I'm having to look up because he can rest his chin on the top of my head. I care what they think, I mutter quietly, and Jax wraps his arms around me, squeezing me tight against his muscular chest. If I were to die now, I'd die happy. Confused, but happy. Before he can respond, my phone starts ringing inside my handbag. Guess I've got my signal back. Excuse me, I murmur. I sigh heavily as I see my mum's face on my phone. Hi, Mum, I answer brightly. I glance over to see Jax watching me, an unreadable expression on his face. Hi, sweetie. Are you still with Cade? Where are you? She asks, and I check the time. It's nearly 3 o'clock. You're mine, he argues, but he seems much calmer than me. No, I'm not. I disagree with him and pull myself out of his grip. I instantly regret my words as I see the furious look on his beautiful face. You are mine, whether you like it or not, he tells me, and I take a few deep breaths. Look, you don't understand, this has completely thrown me. I never expected my mate to be the future alpha of the Black Mountain Pack. It seems there's a lot going on in your life, this just ... it isn't going to work. I say quietly, and I try not to let tears form in my eyes. You are not rejecting me, he growls and pulls me back into his arms. No, I'm not, but I just think you should realize that this isn't going to be easy, and you can't just snap your fingers and expect me to move to your pack. What am I supposed to tell my parents? Tell them you've met your mate, he says, as if it's that simple and obvious. Let me go talk to 𝐻𝐿. I promise I won't leave without telling you. I acquiesce. Jax reluctantly lets me go. I find 𝐻𝐿 sat on the grass in front of the house. He doesn't say anything as I come and sit next to him. Why didn't you tell me he was your brother, or that your dad is the alpha? I ask, letting him see how annoyed I am he kept that from me. He sighs and turns to face me. I told you, I don't get on with my dad. He's the one who gives the Black Mountain Pack such a bad name, he replies. I sit back and listen to him explain. When he offered Jax and I to be alpha, I declined straight away. Not only do I not want to be alpha, if I'd have said yes, Dad would have expected Jax and I to fight for the position. As much as I don't like my brother, I don't want to fight him. Besides, he'll make a much better alpha than me, 𝐻𝐿 admits to me, and I lean over to squeeze his hand, hoping I'm providing some comfort. I never meant to bring you into this. I'm so sorry I was late meeting you. I got caught up with my parents. I had no idea you'd been reported on our territory. You're lovely, Sienna, and my brother, well, I think you deserve more than him. There's a lot of tension in my family, and if you stay here, you're going to get wrapped up in it, and I don't want that. That's why I have a problem with Jax. It's not fair to you and he knows it. I sit quietly beside him, taking in everything he says. I wonder what he means by tension. How am I going to get involved in it? It's okay, 𝐻𝐿. I'm just glad I've got you to talk to. Jax comes out of the house a few minutes later and comes over to us. I stand up and pick up my bag. I need to get back to my house before my parents start worrying, I tell him. I really need some time to think. I can see Jax is about to disagree, so I cut in before he can. Look, let me go home tonight. I'll tell my parents I'm staying at my friend's house or something and I'll come back tomorrow, okay? I offer. Jax considers it for a moment before nodding reluctantly. I know we've got a lot to talk about, but just give me some time to get my head around it, I say to him and open up my arms for a hug. He pulls me against his warm, solid chest for what must be like the 10th time today. But I'm still not bored of it. I revel in the feel of my mate's arms around me before pulling away. I'll walk you to the border, 𝐻𝐿 suggests, and Jax growls in warning. I'm your brother for fuck's sake. Besides, you best go explain this to Dad, 𝐻𝐿 argues, and I can see Jax knows he's right. Fine, but don't you dare touch her, Jax warns him. 𝐻𝐿 rolls his eyes in response. Jax leans over and presses a kiss to my forehead before heading back inside the house. I freeze as the tingles spread throughout my body. Oh, snap out of it, 𝐻𝐿 mutters teasingly. I nudge him and we walk back towards the tree line. So, today's been weird, 𝐻𝐿 says casually, and I roll my eyes. You think? Goddess, I was not expecting this today. I can't wait to get home and get in bed. Jax is actually all right. He's just been through a lot, 𝐻𝐿 tells me, and I just nod, knowing if I ask, he won't expand on his comment. Soon enough, we come out of the trees, and I see my car. It seems like days ago that I parked it there. Little did I know when I was entering the woods, I was about to find my mate. I'll come pick you up tomorrow, 𝐻𝐿 says, hugging me. Yeah, see you tomorrow. We say goodbye and I slide into the car. I start the engine and drive away. My mind replays today's events and I sigh heavily. Hopefully I'll feel better about everything tomorrow.
Chapter 7 Sienna.
As I mentally prepare myself before I step inside the house, I slide off my boots and enter the lounge, where both my parents are sat on the sofa, watching TV. How was your day? My mum asks. For a moment, I just want to tell her everything. Really good, thank you. How was yours? I say instead and listen as she tells me about her day at work. Dad sits silently, probably in one of his strops again. I sit with my parents until 6 o'clock, when the sun has started to set and the light starts to fade. I'm going to go out for a run. I'll be back in about an hour, I announce, standing up and heading out of the living room. Be safe, Dad shouts as I go upstairs to my bedroom. I change into joggers and a large jumper and then go back downstairs to the kitchen. I unlock the back door and step outside. My bare feet noiselessly step along the stone path down to the end of the garden. I push open the gate and look around for a moment, making sure no one is around. I step onto the grass and disappear into the forest on our territory. Ensuring once again that I'm alone, I strip off all my clothes behind a tree and tie them securely around my ankle before shifting into my brown wolf. I take off into the forest, running through the trees that I know so well. How many times have I been on this same run? I have no idea, but I've been doing it since I was 16. I slow down as soon as I get the feeling I'm being watched. I look around quickly, trying to work out which pack member it is. I sniff the air and catch a scent that sends all my senses into overdrive. What is Jax doing here? My ears prick up at the thought that my mate is close by. I turn around and jump when I see him flying towards me. We both fall to the ground, and he rolls us over, so he is on top of me. Even in his black wolf form, his eyes are still the same mesmerizing green. He licks my face playfully, and I push him off. How did he get over the wall? I quickly go behind a tree and shift. I poke my head around and ask him to shift as well. I pull on my clothes and step out from behind the tree. I freeze instantly at the sight of him half naked. It's a full moon tonight and I've never been more grateful for the light it provides. My mate stands before me, with sweats hanging low on his hips, giving me the most wonderful view of his defined V-lines. He has washboard abs, pecs that are probably bigger than my boobs, and gorgeous thick arms. I stay silent as I take in the black tribal tattoos that are inked from his right hip, up his chest, all over his right arm and disappear behind his back. What are you doing here? I ask, walking over so we are about a meter apart. Is that any way to greet your mate? He teases and I enjoy seeing the more playful side of him. Seriously, how did you get over the wall? I question him and he smirks at me. Baby, I'm an alpha, he responds cockily, and I smirk, crossing my arms over my chest. Not yet you're not, I reply mockingly, and the smug look drops off his face. What are you doing here? I ask again and he steps closer, so we're almost touching. I try to focus on my breathing as he leans down so his face is close to mine. I can hear my heartbeat loudly in my ears. I'm sure he can hear it too. I wanted to see you, he murmurs quietly. He knows the effect he's having on me. I can see the smugness in his eyes. That's nice, I breathe, cursing myself for sounding so stupid. I wanted to make sure you haven't tried to run away, he joked, but something tells me there is a little element of truth in that. No, not yet, I joke, and he frowns at me. My eyes widen as he leans in so close that I can feel his minty breath on my face. Haven't you realized yet, baby? You're mine, you're never getting away from me, he whispers huskily. Before I can come back with some sarcastic comment, he leans in further to close the distance between our lips. I don't want to kiss the cocky asshole, but I don't exactly say no, either. The stupid mate bond makes some kind of spell come over me. His lips take firm control over mine and his hands slide up my waist to grip my hair, holding me against his warm body. I have never been kissed like this in my life. I hold back every moan that threatens to spill out, not wanting to give him the satisfaction of knowing how much I'm enjoying this. He pulls away and rests his forehead on mine. You're mine, he says for like the millionth time, and I resist rolling my eyes. I'm yours, I get it, okay. I retort and he growls, tightening his grip on my hair. Our moment is broken as the bell in the church chimes for 7 o'clock. I sigh and take a step back from him. I need to go, my parents are expecting me for dinner, I tell him, and the smile drops from his face. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, he replies. He gently kisses me one last time before disappearing back into the trees. I sigh heavily, feeling more confused than ever about our situation, and return back to my house. Have a good run, darling, my mum asks as I sit down at the table. I'm grateful I wore perfume today so they shouldn't smell Jackson's scent on me. Yes, thank you, I reply quietly. I look across the table at my parents as they contently eat their dinner. How am I ever supposed to tell them who my mate is and disappoint them more than I already have? How am I supposed to accept the fact my mate is a killer? How is my mate going to accept just how different we are?
Jax is 6 hours earlier.
I'm sat with my best mate, Colton, in the rec room of the pack hall, playing GTA. Colton and I have been friends since we were kids, and he's going to my beta as soon as I am initiated as alpha. Just 1 month to go. My phone rings and I pause the game, making Colton curse next to me. I frown when I see it's my dad calling. I don't even bother to greet him. He speaks immediately. I need you to go check out a possible rogue trespasser on the southern border, near the old barn, he tells me, and I sigh in annoyance. I'm enjoying my day off. Can't someone else do it? You know how serious things are at the moment, Jackson. They are looking for any hole in our security. Go and deal with it. He hangs up before I can complain. Got a rogue sighting. I'll be back later. I tell Colton and jog out of the house to shift at the tree line. It only takes me a few minutes to arrive where the patrol is gathered. I shift back and pull on my clothes. This is a complete mistake. I'm not trespassing. I'm meeting a friend. I hear a girl's voice and I frown. She sounds young and innocent. Nothing like a rogue scout. Brianna sees me and everyone lowers their heads. But my eyes are on the beautiful brunette stood behind her. I don't take my eyes off her as I slowly approach them. I resist smirking as I see her checking me out. She's beautiful, even more beautiful than I ever expected. She has long brown hair, warm hazel eyes, and full, pink lips. I'm surprised when she lowers her head also. A rogue would never do that, nor would most wolves who aren't a member of this pack. Beta, this is the female we found on our territory. Brianna tells me, and I almost laugh when I see my mate's small little fists clench in anger. Unable to stop myself, I walk over to where she stands. I'm grateful for the tight skirt she wears as it flaunts her gorgeous legs and ass. I stand in front of her, feeling a sense of pride as her eyes flicker up and down my lower body. I want her to look at me properly, so I lift her head, so her stunning eyes meet mine. I inhale her mouth-watering scent. It's like pomegranates and vanilla, sweet and addictive. I did not expect to meet my mate here on my territory, but now I've found her. I just want to take her right here on the forest floor, regardless of the patrol surrounding us. My eyes drop down to her full lips and I feel my cock twitch in anticipation. I snap out of my daze when she moves, and I realize she still has the handcuffs on. Brianna, hand me the key to those cuffs. I command her and smirk as I see my mate shiver. I'm glad I have this effect on her. Brianna hands me the key and I go behind her, admiring her ass as I unlock the cuffs. I revel in the feeling of the tingles that spark every time we touch. What is your name? I ask her, looking into those beautiful eyes. Sienna. My stupid brother's voice interrupts us, and I turn around to see him coming over to us. I'm completely shocked as I realize they know each other. Sienna hugs him, and I can't keep back the growl that erupts from my chest. Why the fuck is he touching my mate? I grab my mate and pull her behind me. Don't touch her, I command him, and Cade looks at me confused. Can he not figure it out? I freeze as I feel my mate's small hands sliding up my back and gently squeezing me. I don't want to calm down, but I can't help the calming effect her touch has. Fuck's sake. See, what's going on? Cade asks curiously and Sienna steps out from behind me, so I quickly wrap an arm around her waist. He's my mate, she replies, and I want to punch Cade as he glares at me. No way, he says angrily, and I growl in response, holding Sienna tighter. She's mine, I seethe. I think we should do this somewhere else. As Cade can explain, this was all a big misunderstanding. My mate says, you're right. Come on, come back to the house. Cade replies glumly and turns around, walking away from us whilst I glare at him. She tries to walk off behind him, but I grab her hand and spin her round to face me. You're mine, I tell her again, and she nods silently. I can't believe I found her.
Chapter 8 Sienna.
I wake up to the bright light of the sun shining through my curtains. I stretch and look up at my ceiling. What am I going to do? Why can't my mate just be some simple guy from my pack or something? No, he has to be a member of the pack my own pack fears most. I'm so glad I have Cade in all of this. It's reassuring to have a familiar face around. I jump in the shower and spend a long time washing my body. If only I could wash away all this stress. I let my hair dry into long curls and pick out jeans and a top. I take my time doing my makeup, wanting to look good for my mate. I'm screwed already. This mate bond is just going to get stronger. As I draw on my lip liner, I think back to the kiss we had last night. I text Cade to let him know I'll be ready soon, and then pack my bag to stay overnight. It feels so weird to be going on a sleepover, like I'm back in school or something. I tell my parents that I'm staying at Cassie's tonight, and then I FaceTime the girls so we can have a group chat. I put my headphones in, not wanting my parents to hear our conversation. You found your mate. Cassie screams and I wince, turning down the volume. Oh my goddess, see, this is so exciting. Kayla shouts and I try to smile at them. Oh, honey, I know that smile. What's wrong? Is he with someone else? Cassie asks. I consider it for a moment. I don't even know if he's single. I make a mental note to ask about relationships later. He's Cade's brother ... and next in line to be alpha of the Black Mountain Pack, I tell the girls. For a brief, miraculous moment, it's silent. They both look at me, complete shock on the faces. Oh my. Sienna, I'm so sorry, Kayla says, her voice gravely serious. What did your parents say? Cass asks, her eyes still wide with surprise. Obviously I didn't tell them. I only met him yesterday. I'm seeing him today to try and work something out. It'll be fine, see, just don't tell your parents. Yeah, I know. I won't. I roll my eyes, but I can't shake the uneasy feeling in my stomach. Be careful, Sienna. I've heard they're in the middle of a fight with some rogues at the moment. Make sure you don't get caught up in it, Kayla warns me, and I roll my eyes again. I'll be fine, silly. Don't worry about me. Anyway, Kate is outside. I've got to go. I say bye to the girls and then to my parents. I grab my bag and head outside to where Kate is waiting for me in his BMW. Good morning, he says, his usual bright tone missing from his voice. What's wrong? I ask him as he pulls out of my drive. Oh, nothing, just one of my friends is mated to my dickhead brother, he jokes sarcastically, smiling at me. Tell me about it, I mutter, rolling my eyes at him. Are you excited to find your mate? I ask, and it's Cade's turn to roll his eyes. Not after seeing you and my brother, no. Although, I doubt we'll ever have as many problems as you do, he teases, but his words hurt. There are so many issues in his family that I don't even know about yet. Don't worry, you'll find him soon, I say casually, watching carefully for his response. I notice as he subtly grips the steering wheel tighter. What do you mean him? Cade asks, keeping his eyes on the road ahead. Oh, come on, Cade, I'm not stupid. I've got gay guy friends. I know about you, I tell him, and I can see him grinding his teeth angrily. Don't you dare tell anyone, Sienna, he warns me. He glances over at me, and I feel awful as I see the panic in his eyes. I lean over and put my hand on his leg, squeezing it. I'll never tell anyone, Cade, it's none of my business, I reassure him, and he visibly relaxes. Thanks, see, you're the best. You shouldn't be embarrassed or worried about it, you know, I tell him, and he smiles. When did you first know? I ask him. When I first slept with a girl at 16. After it happened, I just thought, nah, this isn't for me, he says lightly, and I can't help but laugh at his blasé comment. Ever slept with a guy? I ask, smiling as his cheeks turn red. At least it's not just me that blushes. 3, he mumbles, and I grin at him. Ooh, get you, I tease, and he shoves me playfully. Nobody knows about it obviously, the guys have all been randoms from town, humans, even. I'm a big enough failure to my parents anyway, goddess knows how they'd accept this as well, hence, why I'm dreading meeting my mate. He's gonna give the whole game away, Cade jokes, rolling his eyes, and I feel so sorry for him. You should tell your parents, they might surprise you, I offer, and he frowns at me. Right back at you, see. I bite my lip. Okay, he has a point. Anyway, let's forget about it. We're here, Cade replies and pulls into a garage with about 20 car spaces. I step out and grab my bag. We walk across the gravel to the grass square around which all the houses are scented. My mouth drops open as I see 2 guys fighting on the grass, both shirtless, both wearing boxing gloves. A crowd of people are surrounding them, cheering them on and shouting. What the fuck's going on? I ask. Nothing like this has ever happened in my pack. Training, it's a beta's job to train the new recruits. Your mate is giving a lesson, Cade tells me. As we get closer, I'm very alarmed to see my mate punching a much smaller, much slimmer man. He grabs the guy and flips him backwards, so he lands on his back on the grass. I breathe out a sigh of relief as he helps the guy up and they both take off their gloves, shaking hands. The crowd starts to break away, the training is obviously over. The poor opponent of my mate is sat on the ground, panting heavily and chugging his water. My mate grabs his water and drinks some himself. Cade and I walk over, and I take my time admiring the absolutely incredible specimen that just so happens to be mine. The sun is shining down brightly, showing off his dark, tanned skin, glowing with sweat. I bite my lip to stop my mouth falling open as I take in each and every contour of his abs and pecs and every ripple of his arms. I frown as I see a group of girls stood blatantly watching him. Have they no shame? I'm allowed because I'm his mate. They, however, are not being subtle. I hand Cade my bag and step onto the grass. Jax must smell me because he turns to face me, heart-stopping grin on his face. I smile back at him and step into his open arms. I don't even care about the sweat. I throw my arms around his neck and press my lips against his. His large hands reach down to cup my ass, squeezing it not so gently. He takes over, his lips moving confidently against mine. Just as his tongue swipes teasingly along my bottom lip, Cade clears his throat loudly. I pull away and wipe the lipstick off his mouth. I sneak a subtle glance over at the group of girls who are watching me with looks of disgust on their faces. Too bad. I'll be inside, I tell him, quickly pecking his lips before turning around and walking over to where Kate is waiting, a scowl on his pretty face. Sorry, it had to be done, I tell him as I take my bag back and we walk over to the pack house. Well, I think it worked, Kate joked, and I grinned at him. Call me petty, I don't care. I sit with Kate in the large pack kitchen and wonder when I will meet their parents, although I'm not sure I want to. Jax comes in 10 minutes later, his black hair wet from a shower. He looks delicious. He comes over to where I'm sitting on a bar stool and wraps his arms around me, kissing my neck. I never would have expected this yesterday, but I'm finding it very hard to say no to him. Care to explain what that was about outside? He asks and I stand up so I can look at him. I don't know what you're talking about, I reply innocently and Cade scoffs next to me. It's all right, baby. I'm possessive, too, he mutters huskily, pulling me into his arms and kissing my forehead. Okay, I'm leaving before I vomit, Cade says, sighing heavily and marching out of the room. Do you want to put your things in my house? You are staying over, right? Jax asks, and my heart melts at the hope in his eyes. That depends, do you have a spare room? I ask and Jax frowns. What? Baby, that's not fair. Do you have any idea how long I've waited for you? He whines and I struggle to keep my resolve. I grab my handbag and head for the back door. Well, if you've waited that long, you can wait a bit longer. I smirk at him and step outside into the sunshine, laughing when I hear him growl behind me. Come on, it's this way. He takes my hand in his and I try to control my excitement at holding hands. It sounds so stupid, but I can't remember the last time I felt so content. He leads me over to a large, 2-story house across the square. It's beautiful, with bay windows and shutters. Mum designed it, don't ask, he mutters, unlocking the door and leading me inside. I take my shoes off as soon as I see the cream carpets and Jax laughs at me. So well trained, he jokes, and I smirk at him. I check my phone and see a text from my mum hoping I'm having a lovely time at Cassie's. I roll my eyes and quickly reply. He gives me a tour of his house. He has a huge living room with a TV that puts mine to shame, a gorgeous kitchen, and 2 bedrooms with en suites upstairs. He finishes the tour in his bedroom. The walls are painted cream like the rest of the house, but all the furniture is black, including his king-sized bed. The whole room smells of him and I think I've died and gone to heaven as I breathe it in. You can put your stuff in the spare room if you want, he offers, but he looks reluctant. I don't want you to get the wrong idea of me if I sleep in your bed straight away, I tell him, knowing full well my dad would never allow him to stay in my bed at my house. Sienna, you're my mate. No one would think anything bad of you if we made it on the day we met. My parents did, for fuck's sake, he shrugs, and I know he has a point. It's very different in our world. You're more likely to be judged if you don't mate with your mate straight away. Yeah, I guess, okay. I'll stay in here, but nothing is happening okay. I tell him and he grins, pulling me against that gorgeous chest of his. I can't promise anything, he mutters, kissing down my neck. I push away from him and put my hands on my hips. Fine, fine. He backs up, putting his hands up in surrender. I promise I won't do anything you don't want, which means, if you want it, I'm allowed to do it, he teases, smirking cockily at me. I scowl and grab a pillow off his bed, throwing it at him before running out the room and downstairs. This is going to be an interesting night.
Thank you for joining me on this romance. Chapter 9 Sienna.
Really don't know anything about you, I tell Jax as he comes downstairs to find me, like, honestly, nothing. I don't even know how old you are. I frown and he smiles at me. Well, ask me anything you want to know then. He shrugs and I look outside at the sun shining through the windows. Can we walk and talk? It's such a nice day, I don't want to be inside, I ask him, and he frowns. We've got to stay away from the borders though, we have some rogue issues at the moment, it's not safe, he tells me, and I nod. Taking my hand, he leads me outside. We cross the square and head for the trees. So, how old are you? I ask him. I know for sure that he's older than me. 25, you. 21. Okay, have you always wanted to be alpha? My question seems to surprise him, and he thinks about it for a minute. Yes, I have. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved bossing people about, he jokes, and I laugh. Yeah, somehow I can imagine that I tease, thinking of my next question. What's your favorite food? I ask. It's a silly question, but I don't want to attack him with the big questions straight away. Steak, what about you? Ooh, I love steak. Probably pasta, I just love Italian food. I tell him and he laughs at me. Okay, I'll have to remember that. Right, I've got a question for you. Have you got any siblings? Nope, just me and my parents. You only have one brother, right? I ask and he nods. Okay, time for a big question. How many people have you slept with? I ask him, my stomach twisting painfully as I see him tense. I knew you were going to ask that, he mutters. He stops walking and turns to face me. I let go of his hand and cross my arms over my chest. I'll know if you're lying, I warn him and he nods. He looks nervous. About 40-ish I think, he tells me, and I involuntarily recoil. I take a step back and gasp. 40. Are you serious? I don't know what to think. I was feeling guilty for losing my virginity to someone other than my mate. I bet that thought didn't even cross his mind. Look, I know it seems bad, he starts to explain, but I cut him off. Seems bad? No, it doesn't seem bad, it is fucking bad. I laugh at the end, trying not to let my inner psycho show through. I've been waiting to meet you for 7 years, Sienna. It's only been 3 for you, it has been 7 for me. I genuinely thought I was never going to find you, all right. He tries to defend himself. I can't speak, so I just stand there and glare at him. How many were girlfriends? Were they just shags? Did they mean anything? I ask. I would much rather they were all one-night stands than anything serious. His face darkens and I can see my question has affected him. Most of them meant nothing to me. One of them, however, she was my girlfriend, he tells me, and I try not to let him see how much that hurts me. I have no right to be hurt. I've had boyfriends, but I can't help it. Baby, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was going to meet you. He pulls me into his arms, and I can't help but wrap my arms around his waist, leaning my face against his pecs. It's fine, I mumble, knowing full well I'm going to be ranting about this to the girls. How many have you slept with? He asks through gritted teeth. 3, like 10 times less than you, I joke, and I can see the obvious relief he feels. And how many were boyfriends? He asks and I sigh heavily. 2 boyfriends, 1 was a one-night stand, I reply, and he takes a deep breath to calm himself. His eyes turn dark black. Did you love them? He asks me and I swallow nervously. I thought I did, but I know now, what I felt was nothing compared to the way I feel about you, I tell him, placing my hand on his arm. What about you? Your girlfriend, did you love her? I ask and his face immediately turns grim. As a friend, really, but I didn't realize it till later on. But that was a long time ago and I'd rather not talk about it right now, if that's okay, he says, and I frown, wanting to know more than ever now. Sure. Moving on, another serious question, I'm afraid. I presume you've killed before. How many? I ask and he sighs, running his hand down his face. I don't know, Sienna, too many to count, he tells me, and I take a sharp intake of breath. Shit, was not expecting that. I know your pack isn't violent and I respect that, but you've also got to respect the fact that mine is. I can't help it, it's how I was raised, he explains. I sigh and open my mouth to reply, but he suddenly grabs me and pushes me behind him. I want to ask him what's wrong, but there's a loud growl. I look over his shoulder to see 3 wolves standing in front of us, baring their teeth. Run back to the pack house, now, Jax tells me, and I shake my head, forgetting he can't see me. My heart starts beating double time and I feel my breathing quicken. I'm terrified. These are rogues for sure. Go, Sienna, Jax tells me again, dropping on all fours and shifting. I wince at the sound of his clothes ripping. I kick off my shoes and drop to ground as well. I am not leaving him. 2 of the wolves jump at Jax, whilst the 3rd stalks over to me. I close my eyes and focus on shifting. My bones pop out of place and change shape painlessly. My favorite jeans rip and fall to the ground in pieces. I finish shifting just in time to have the rogue slam into my side, sending me about 2 meters in the air and winding me. I land on my back, struggling to breathe again. The rogue leaps through the air towards me. I spin around and kick out my hind legs, hitting him hard enough in the chest to break some ribs. He falls back onto the ground, and I quickly jump up. I bare my teeth and crouch down, ready to pounce on him, but Jax's black wolf comes over and he presses his paws on the rogue's neck. I watch, horrified, as Jax cuts off his air supply. The rogue scratches and kicks at Jax but can't shift him. A few moments later, Jax turns around to face me, but I can't take my eyes off the rogue, lying still with his eyes closed. Jax lifts his head and lets out a loud howl, presumably contacting his pack. Jax shifts back and I avert my eyes quickly, not wanting to be caught eyeing his naked body. Baby, shift back, he tells me, and I shake my head stubbornly. I'm going to see your body soon enough, why does it matter? He asks and I glare at him. I pick up the remainder of his t-shirt in my mouth and go behind a tree. I shift back and hold the large piece of material to my body. It covers the important areas, that's all I need. I step back out from behind the tree and Jax rolls his eyes at me. I can't stop myself as my eyes lower down and I look at all of him. Goddess, my eyes. Come on, don't be shy, he jokes, laughing at me as I turn bright red and desperately hold the piece of cloth to my body. He holds out his hand to me and I step into his arms. He pulls the piece of material off of me and I squeal, pressing my body against his chest so he can't see anything. I could get used to this, he whispers huskily in my ear, and I shiver, and not from the cold. Don't worry, I called patrol. They will be here soon with clothes, he tells me, and I nod, shivering as my hard nipples brush against his chest. Stop moving, baby. It's very hard to control myself right now, he grunts, and I can hear the strain in his voice. I can feel just how much of a problem I'm causing as it presses, long and hard, against my stomach. It would be so easy to wrap my legs around his waist. He would be inside me in seconds. The thought is extremely tempting. You killed them, I say quietly, unable to process it all right now. I had to, but it's too late, baby. I'm so sorry. He squeezes me tighter against him. Why are you apologizing? I ask confusedly. Jax sighs and looks down at me. I keep my boobs squashed against his chest. One of the rogues managed to tell whoever was listening that I found my mate. They know about you now, which means you're not safe anymore, he tells me, and a sick feeling of dread washes over me. I'm so sorry, he says again. Our moment is interrupted as the patrol arrive. Jax orders them all to look away as he takes the clothes off them and hands me a large t-shirt and joggers. I quickly pull them on, happy to have my dignity again. I'm silent as Jax takes my hand and leads us back to his house. When we get there, he makes me a cup of tea and I sit down on his sofa. Please tell me you haven't fucked anyone on this sofa, I mutter, taking a sip of my tea and instantly feeling better. No, I have not. Jax rolls his eyes and I make myself more comfortable. I'm so sorry for bringing you into this. I honestly didn't think I was going to meet you, and I couldn't not see you. I didn't think rogues would risk an attack in the day. I'm so sorry, Jax apologizes again. As much as I want to be mad at him, his crestfallen face is melting my anger. I sigh and stand up, moving over to where he sits on the sofa. I move his arms out of the way and sit down on his lap. He instantly wraps his arms around me. I lay my head down on his shoulder, my nose brushing against his gorgeous square jaw. Damn, why does he have to smell so good? What does this mean now? I ask, clutching my cup of tea. It's not safe for you to leave my territory. You have to stay here, he tells me, and I sit up to look at him. For how long? I ask worriedly, and Jack sighs. Until this is all over. It might be a while, Sienna, he says, and I stand up, running a hand through my hair. What am I supposed to tell my parents? I ask, suddenly wishing I was back at uni. It would make life a lot easier. Tell them you're staying your friend's house or something. If you go home, you'll put them in danger as well, Jax explains, and I focus on my breathing to stay calm. Look, there is a rogue pack that formed from the Golden Fields pack after we took their land. They have been trying to get that land back ever since. We tried to make a truce, but they weren't having it. For the past month, they have been killing my patrol members and crossing onto our territory. Dad has been training everyone in preparation for a fight. There is no other option than to kill them, or at least their leader, Jax tells me. I sit down again, trying to take this all in. Is this what Cade meant when he said this wasn't fair on me? Yes, that's why he didn't want me to bring you into all this. Honestly, Sienna, I didn't want to, but I couldn't not see you, he replies. He sits down next to me and puts his arm around my shoulders. What the hell have I got myself into? I won't let anything happen to you, you know, he tells me, and I nod, still feeling a bit numb. Do you want some lunch? He asks. My stomach rumbles in response and I quickly sip my tea to hide my blush. I'll take that as a yes then, pasta okay. He teases. I roll my eyes and follow him into the kitchen to wash up my mug. That's great, thank you, I'm just going to get changed. I head upstairs to his room and slide off the clothes the patrol brought us. I put on a pair of leggings and a large jumper and head back down the stairs. I don't want to think about the rogue situation. I can freak out about that later. As I'm walking down the corridor to the kitchen, the doorbell rings. Figuring that Jax is busy, I open the door. A woman who must be about late 30s stands in front of me. Her black hair is pulled up into a tight bun, her makeup is subtle and flawless, and she's wearing a smart gray dress that complements her slim figure. Her face hardens the moment she sets eyes on me. Who are you? She asks bluntly and my smile falters. Goddess, she's rude. I'm Sienna, I'm Jax's mate. I respond, smiling at her. She recoils in shock and then forces a smile at me. I'm sorry, I didn't realize Jackson had found his mate. He never told me, she replies. Her voice is condescending, and I don't like it. Oh, that's weird. I trail off, not knowing what to say, but I'll certainly be asking Jax about it. I shift uncomfortably as she looks me up and down, obviously assessing me. From the look in her eyes, I don't make the cut. Would you like to come in, Mrs. Iverson? I ask, grateful that I know her surname from Cade. Thank you. She smiles tightly and walks with confidence into the house. I follow silently behind as she waltzes into the kitchen. Her whole demeanor changes when she sees Jackson. She lights up like a fucking Christmas tree. She obviously has something against me. Jackson, darling. She greets him, pulling him close to kiss both his cheeks. Jax looks completely surprised and quickly glances over her shoulder to give me an apologetic look. You didn't tell me you met your mate, dear, she says to him, and she doesn't bother to hide the annoyed tone in her voice. I sit down on the other side of the island, feeling somewhat like an intruder. I wanted you to meet her properly first, Mum, Jax smoothly replies and gives his mum a tight smile. I notice how on edge he looks. Well, anyway, I was on my way out and thought I'd stop by. Your father wants to see you soon about those stupid rogues or something, she says. The whole time her eyes are on him as he stands by the oven, I feel invisible. Thank you, I'll see him later, Jax replies. His mother says goodbye. I get a curt nod in my direction and suddenly she's gone. I'm sorry about that, I didn't know she was coming. Jax apologizes and drains the pasta in the sink. It's fine, I don't think she likes me much, I mutter, trying to pretend like I don't care. Of course I care, obviously I want his mum to like me. It's pretty clear Jax is her favorite though, so maybe that's why she doesn't like me, because she sees me as a threat. She does, don't worry, she just takes a little while to get used to. He serves up the pasta and we don't talk anymore about his mother, which I'm very grateful for. After lunch, Jax leaves me to watch a film whilst he goes and talks to his father.
Chapter 10 Sienna.
Really, Jax returns not half an hour later, with a huge grin on his gorgeous face. He walks over with the confidence only an alpha, or future alpha, can have. It is undeniably sexy to see him so sure of himself, wearing his tight shirt and dark jeans. What's up? I ask as sits next to me. His scent instantly surrounds me, and I feel a shiver of pleasure run through me. Dad is going to initiate me as alpha tonight, Jax says, and he must notice the alarmed look on my face because he reaches over and squeezes my hand. You won't be initiated as Luna until we're mated, don't worry, he reassures me, and I sigh in relief. Thank goddess for that, I am so not ready. I bet you're so excited, I tell him. He grins and nods. He looks like a little school kid who has just been awarded a gold star. It is adorable. I've been waiting for this day my whole life, he admits. I pull him in for a kiss. He's just too tempting when he's being this cute. I lean back and look at him for a moment, just taking in his beautiful face. I know he is going to make a great alpha. He cares so much about his pack. It is obvious he will look after them. But what am I supposed to do? My parents don't even know I've met my mate. That evening, a large bonfire is alight in the square, and the whole pack gathers around it, bathed in the warm golden glow from the flames. I watch from the side as Jax emerges from the house with his father. They stand in front of the fire, and his father paints some tribal symbols on Jax's bare chest, and then they say some words to each other. I don't really understand it, but this ritual has been practiced from the beginning and wolves are suckers for tradition. A guy Jackson introduced to me as Colton comes up to stand next to Jax. He gets similar designs painted on him by Jax this time, initiating Colton as his beta. The ceremony doesn't take long, and before I know it, Jax's father steps out the way, and Jax turns to face everyone. We all bow our heads in respect and Jax's father announces Jackson as the new alpha and Colton as his beta. Everyone cheers around me and my breath catches in my throat as I see Jax looking directly at me. I grin back at him, unbelievably proud in this moment. One day it's going to be me standing there next to him. Help. As I slide into Jackson's bed that night, I wonder whether I should have worn leggings as well. I'm in my underwear and one of his t-shirts, but I feel vulnerable. I thought when I met my mate we'd mate straight away, but with Jackson we seem to be taking things a lot slower than most wolves, and although I like it, I know that soon enough we're going to be feeling the negative effects from it. I unhook my bra and slide it off underneath the t-shirt, discarding it on the floor. I roll over and stretch out in the bed, savoring the minutes I have left to take up as much room as I want. I hear Jax come out of the bathroom and a beam of light lands on me. He quickly turns off the bathroom light, so we are plunged into darkness again. I hear the towel drop to the floor and I hold my breath, knowing that in a few seconds he will be in bed next to me, most likely naked. My eyes start to adjust to the darkness, and I watch as Jax makes his way towards the bed. He trips and stumbles over something, bracing himself against the bed as he curses and searches for what tripped him up. I believe this is yours, he asks, holding up my red bra which is just visible in the darkness. Oops, sorry. I giggle, finding it hilarious that the big bad alpha has just tripped on one of my lacy bra straps. He rolls his eyes and slides into bed next to me, in just his boxers. Thank the Lord he put his boxers on. I close my eyes and say a quick prayer to the moon goddess to help me through the night. He pulls me into his arms and savor the feel of his hot skin on mine and the delicious scent of his that always floors me. He leans down and kisses my neck, raising goosebumps on my arms. So, how does it feel now you're an alpha? I ask him, gently running my nails up and down his back, causing him to shiver and pull me tight against his hard chest. It's weird, I suddenly feel stronger. I didn't expect to feel the effects so quickly. He admits as he presses a kiss to the top of my head. An act so small and simple makes me melt completely. All right, don't let it get to your head, I tease. He slaps my bum playfully. He freezes as he realizes I'm wearing a thong, so I'm bare and available to him. His hand grazes up my thigh to squeeze my ass and I squeeze my thighs together in anticipation. Within seconds, I'm flipped onto my back, and he is on top of me between my legs. Before I can say anything, his lips capture mine and I don't fight him. Who would? I wrap my arms around his neck and pull him even closer to me. He rolls his hips teasingly, rubbing his erection between my thighs. He kisses down my neck and scrapes his teeth across the skin. For a moment, I wonder if he's going to mark me, and I start to panic that he might. But then he kisses along my neck to my shoulder, and I feel relieved. It's not that I don't want him to mark me, it's just that if he does, then I become Luna and I am not feel ready for that. My parents don't even know I'm here. Imagine coming home like, hey mom, sorry it's been a while, I'm not part of your pack anymore. Actually I'm Luna to that pack you're terrified of. I don't see that going down very well. You have no idea how tempting you are, he breathes, his voice thick with lust. This man is testing my resolve. Stay strong, Sienna. You're pretty tempting yourself, I reply, leaning forward to kiss his neck. I gently bite him and suddenly he is holding my wrists above our heads and his lips are crushed against mine. His tongue teasingly licks across my bottom lip, and I try to hold in my moan. It's taking all my control not to mark you right now, so don't push me, Sienna, he warns, and for a second I just want to tempt him and let him mark me. I don't care. But that thought quickly disappears when he pulls himself off me and my rational thoughts return. Deciding to stop whilst we still can, we say goodnight and turn away from each other. It doesn't take me long to drift to sleep. I need a massive favor from you, I ask Kayla, and she groans in response. What is it? She says, and I know immediately that she's going to help. That's what friends are for. I explain to her my situation, how there are rogues attacking the pack and that it's not safe for me to leave, so I can't pick up my stuff from my house. Being the most incredible, amazing friend that she is, Kayla goes round to my house, packs my clothes and toiletries into a bag and tells my parents that I'm going to be staying with her and Cassie for the week. My parents, of course, don't even question this, and Kayla pretends that I'm currently at Cassie's house, and she was just passing by, hence why she has come to collect my things instead of me. I get a call from my mum immediately after, annoyed that she won't be seeing me for a week, but I promise her I'll call. I lie and tell her that Cass has just been through a bad time with a guy and that Kayla, and I want to stay with her to cheer her up. I laugh at my own lie. Cass never has guy trouble, she is the guy's trouble. Kayla arrives with Kate at the pack house only an hour later, and I run out to greet her. You are the most amazing friend ever, I tell her, squeezing her in a tight hug. Yeah, I know, don't you forget it. I hope I got everything you need, she says, handing me the large bag with all my things in. You're going to stay for a bit, right? I ask as I show her around Jackson's house. He's dealing with some pack issues at the moment, probably to do with the rogues. Yeah, if you want. What are we going to do though if you can't go anywhere? She asks, and I look at her outfit, jeans and top, perfect. I was thinking we could go for a run. Jax says it's fine as long as we stay away from the borders, I suggest, and Kayla nods approvingly. That's fine with me, I haven't shifted in like a week, so it's a good idea, she agrees, stretching in anticipation. Great, come on. I lead her to the tree line, and we strip down to nothing. We've been naked in front of each other so many times. I swear Kayla walks around her house naked all the time. Her roommates must be used to it as well. We shift into our wolves. She has a pale gray wolf with white feet. I always tease her that it looks like she's got socks on. I take off running and she follows close behind me, understanding that I want to play chase.
Kayla's POV.
I chase after Sienna. I don't know why she's bothering to play chase. She knows I'll win. I'm smaller, but I'm faster. I smirk and push myself harder, so I get close to catching up to her. I nudge her tail with my head and laugh as she barks in surprise. I don't think she expected me to catch up that quickly. We run for nearly half an hour, slowing down at times to catch our breath back before starting up again. I'm closing in on Sienna again when she suddenly cuts right. I hurriedly dig my claws in the ground trying to stop myself. My eyes widen as I realize why she's changed direction. We're near the border. There's 2 wolves in front of me, obviously on patrol. My eyes land on the wolf with golden, sandy-colored fur. His gray eyes narrow as he looks at me. Oh shit, I better go before we get in trouble for being near the border. I take off in the direction Sienna went, hopefully catching up to her before we get into trouble. I panic as I hear a wolf following me. I risk a glance over my shoulder to see the sandy-colored wolf running after me. My heart beats wildly in my ears as I push myself harder, so I run faster, creating distance between us. I dodge sporadically between trees, trying to lose him. I look over my shoulder and squeak in surprise as he flies through the air and lands on my back. We roll together on the ground until he is on top of me, his paws holding my arms down against the ground. I look up at him anxiously and shift back, unsure what he wants me to do. He shifts back as well, and suddenly it's hands, not paws, that are holding my hands above my head on the ground. We both pant heavily as we look into each other's eyes. I know as soon as the tingles start flowing down my arms that he is my mate, but he can't be. He is not exactly what I was expecting. I look at him shocked, trying to take this all in. He has tattoos on both sides of his neck and on his shoulders. He has a few piercings in his ear and a small stretcher. I hate those. I swear my eyes widen further as I notice he has a short bar piercing through the end of his right eyebrow, and his light brown hair is cropped short on the sides and long on the top. My eyes meet his mysterious gray ones, and I can't look away. They're mesmerizing. Suddenly he curses and stands up off me. I quickly move my hands over my body to cover myself. He leaps in the air and shifts. When he lands on the ground, he is back to his sandy wolf form. I watch as he disappears through the trees. My heart sinks and I instantly feel sick. He must know we're mates. Does he not want me? Tears threaten to spill out, so I hurriedly shift back and chase after Sienna. I find her waiting for me at the edge of the tree line. We shift and pull our clothes back on. That was fun, wasn't it? Sienna says, and I force a smile for her. Yeah, that was great. I lost you for a bit. Well done, I tease, nudging her. I'm embarrassed to tell her I've met my mate and he doesn't want me. Come on, I want you to meet Jax, she says excitedly, and I follow after her, forcing myself to forget about my stupid mate. I've been without him for 21 years. I don't suddenly need him now. Sienna walks into Jax's house and I walk quietly behind her. Never in my life did I think we would be on the Black Mountain Pack's territory. My mom has warned me about their pack since I was a child. Here I am, in the lion's den, so to speak. Jax, or at least I hope it is him, is sat behind a desk in his study. Sienna breezes over and kisses him. I feel an unwelcome stab of pain, and I realize I'm going to get reminders of my mate everywhere. Perhaps I should speak to him. Jax, this is Kayla, my best friend. Sienna grins at me and I awkwardly step towards the desk. It's nice to meet you, Kayla. Sienna's told me a lot about you, he says warmly, and I relax a bit, smiling back at him. Good things, I hope. Thank you for making Sienna so happy, I tell him, and he turns to look lovingly at her. I quickly look away. I'm not sure whether to throw up or be jealous. As I'm considering which emotion to feel, the study door flies open and none other than my mate storms in. His eyes instantly land on me and I'm frozen to the spot. He's huge. He is bulky. If he were to hug me, I genuinely think I'd be engulfed. I'm only 55 and he is at least 62/3. At this moment, with that seething look on his face, I actually feel scared of him. He glares at me before turning his attention to Jax. Sorry to intrude, Alpha. I didn't realize you were busy. I'll speak to you later, he growls angrily, and his voice sends an involuntary shiver of pleasure through me. Goddess, why does he have to have such a sexy voice? What was that about? Sienna asks Jax, looking confused as we watch from the window as he marches across the square. I don't know, I'll talk to him later, Jax replies. He seems unfazed by my mate's mood. I'm just gonna take a quick shower. Do you mind waiting? Then we can go see Kate. Sienna offers and I nod quickly. I'm grateful when she leaves the room, leaving me alone with her mate. I take a seat on one of the chairs in front of his desk and Jax eyes me curiously. That man who just came in, who is he? I ask him. The question seems to surprise him. Now that I'm actually sat looking at him, I can see that Jax is even bigger than my mate. It's a good thing Sienna is as tall as she is, or she'd be crushed. That's my beta, Colton, he explains. It all makes sense. No wonder he's so big. I should have realized he has a high rank. Why do you want to know? He asks me, and I look at him anxiously for a second before replying. He's my mate, I say cautiously, watching as Jax's face lights up in shock. Wow, was not expecting that. He sighs, running his hand through his hair. Neither was I when we were out on the run. He chased me and pinned me down. When we shifted, he swore at me and stormed off. You saw how he acted just then. He hates me, I mutter. I will not cry. I might sound stupid, but imagine meeting the one person who is made for you, who is meant to love you forever and complete you, do anything for you, and he swears at you and fucks off. I'm pretty upset. Colt is a difficult person, Kayla. You have to understand, it's nothing against you. That's how he is with most people, Jax explains, and I roll my eyes. Honestly, he only opens up to me because we've known each other since we were kids. He's never had a serious relationship, and he never talks to anyone about his feelings. Please, don't take it to heart, Jax reassures me, and I feel so happy that Sienna found such a good guy. How am I not supposed to take it to heart? He doesn't want me. I let one tear fall before I quickly wipe it away and take a deep breath, regaining control of myself. He's just confused, that's all. Look, forget about him and enjoy your day. I'll talk to him if you want. Jax offers, and I nod gratefully. That would be amazing, thank you. But if he tells you straight out he doesn't want me, don't lie to me. Let me know, okay? I ask him, standing up to leave. Yes, but I know he won't reject you, Kayla, he replies confidently. I'm not so sure. Thank you for everything. I leave the study and go upstairs to wait for Sienna to come out of the shower. I wait until we are sat with Kate in Jax's living room to tell the two of them about my mate. I actually think they were almost as shocked as I was.
Chapter 11 Jax.
I sigh and put my head in my hands as Kayla leaves the room. Such a sweet, innocent woman made it to my beta.
The opposite of her.
I head over to the pack hall, relieved when I see him leaning against the outside wall, smoking. He only ever smokes when he's stressed. What's up with you? I ask, coming to stand next to him. He exhales and glares over at my house, knowing that she's in there. I've met her, he says ambiguously, and I smirk. Kayla, yeah, I know. So, what? I reply, and he looks up at me surprised. Did she tell you? He asks, and I decide to lie for her. They don't need anything else making this harder. No, but I'm not stupid. Talk to me. Why are you being a prick to her? I question him, and he curses, stubbing out the fag and lighting another. He ignores me, and I cross my arms over my chest. I'm going to stay here till you open up, Colt, I warn him. He knows I will. I've made him do it 100 times before. What the fuck can I offer her? Look at me and look at her, he replies angrily. He takes a long drag of his fag, and I sigh.
This might take a while. I chased her, you know, she ran past me, and I couldn't help it. My wolf just took over, thought it was a game, he tells me, not looking at my face. I pounced on her and everything. I saw that I was scaring her. I might even have hurt her. I don't know. She's too fucking innocent. I could smell it on her. She's a fucking virgin, Jax. What am I supposed to do with her? He swears again and runs a hand through his tousled hair. I watch him stress out, and I feel for him. She won't want me. You should have seen the look she gave me. She was looking at my piercings and my ink, and it wasn't a good look either. She looked disappointed. It was shit, he mumbles, and I can see the pain in his eyes. He's not even trying to hide it. I can't offer her anything. I'll just ruin her. She's too good for me. It's better I just stay away, he says, and I roll my eyes. You're being too dramatic. She's a lovely girl. Besides, you're her mate. You're made for each other, I tell him, but I can see he's going to be stubborn on this one. I bet she's never smoked, or done drugs, or has a tattoo or anything, and she's never even slept with anyone. Jax, I fucked Vicky this morning, for fuck's sake. He sighs and puts his fag out. Kayla better not find out about that. He goes to get out another one, and I put out my hand to stop him. Chain smoking will not help this situation. She will understand. It was before you met her. If you go and fuck someone else now, though, not only will she be upset, but I'll be fucking angry as well. Colt, I mean it. I warn him. This is Sienna's best friend. You hurt Kayla. You hurt Sienna, so don't fuck her about. If you're going to reject her, then go ahead and do it. He looks at me in shock. I wouldn't do that, Jax. Shit, is that what you think of me? He says, hurt clear in his voice, and I suddenly feel guilty for thinking he'd do that. Colt might be fucked up, but he isn't a cheater. I'm not that much of a prick. Besides, Vicky isn't all that. He shrugs, and I roll my eyes again. This is just the worst timing as well. The full moon is in 3 days. How am I supposed to stop myself then? He asks me, and I freeze. The full moon is in 3 days. I ask cautiously, and he nods, getting out another fag. This time I don't stop him, and I go over to my house where Cade, Sienna, and Kayla are sat in my living room. I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I steal Sienna for a minute? I enter the room. Sienna looks at me and hurries over. I take her hand and pull her into my study. Is everything okay? She asks worriedly, putting her arms around me. I sigh and rest my forehead against hers. Everything is better when she is near me. There is a full moon in 3 days, I tell her, and I feel her stiffen in my arms. Don't worry, we'll handle it. I'll just have to chain myself up. I try and joke, but we both know I'm serious. No, I don't want you to have to do that, she replies, holding me tight against her. But you're not ready, and I don't want to mark you just because I have to. I want you to want me to do it, I tell her, and she sighs against me. On a full moon, if two mates have met each other and not yet fully mated, they feel an uncontrollable pull to each other to finish the mating bond. I'm just not ready to become Luna, that's all, she admits, and I kiss her forehead. I understand that she might not be ready, but I think she is, and she'll be incredible. I just wanted to warn you, I reply, and she pulls back, her eyes wide with worry. Does this mean Colton will have to be locked up as well? She asks, and I realize Kayla must have told her. Yes, it does. I nod and pull her into a kiss before we talk anymore.
Chapter 12 Kayla.
I grab my car's keys once I've said goodbye to everyone. I step out of Jackson's house and close the front door behind me. I look up and meet the eyes of my gorgeous mate as he leans against the wall of the pack house, smoking. Fucking hell, that boy even makes smoking look hot, and I hate smoking. I hate everything about him, so why the hell do I find him so hot? I consider walking over and confronting him, but as I take a step towards him, he throws his cigarette on the floor and storms inside. I try to stop the tears that fall down my face, but I can't, so I just get in my car and pull out of the drive. Only 10 minutes later, I'm outside my house that I rent with my friends from work. I quickly wipe away any smudged makeup and march into the house. Luckily, no one is around, and I make it to my room without any questions. I grab my phone and sit on my bed. It's a shame Sienna can't come out until those rogues are sorted. But Cass definitely can. Can we get drunk tonight? I ask, before Cass can even say hello. Hell yes. I grin. I knew I could rely on her to be up for a night out. A very large pizza, and 4 hours later, Cass and I are sat in my room doing our makeup. What a prick. Cass says again, we've already been over the mate situation. But Cass is still mad about it, and I love her for it. I know, I mutter, smiling as my eyelashes stick on perfectly. Well, we're gonna get you out on the pool tonight and you'll forget all about him, she says confidently. I consider it for a moment. I can't get with someone tonight having met my mate today. Other people might be able to, but I can't. He's going to be on my mind all night, I know it. I'm so grateful that when we arrive at our favorite club, the bouncers just let us straight in. The queue is massive, and I really don't need that right now. See, this is why you sleep with a bouncer, Cass teases, and I smirk at her. I head straight for the bar and order shots for us both. We have a couple each, and Cass pulls me to the dance floor. By 1 a.m., the place is completely packed, and it's actually hard to dance because there's so many people everywhere. I feel someone's hand slide up my leg, and I quickly push him off, but his hand comes back. I turn around to give him a piece of my mind and nearly jump as I see my mate stood next to the pervert. He grabs the pervert's collar and shoves him away from us. Don't fucking touch her, he shouts at him so he can be heard above the music. The pervert says something inaudible and sulks off. I look at my mate and see he is about to say something, so I quickly turn and head over to the bar, grateful that Cass is currently in the arms of an attractive blonde. I lean against the bar, waiting for the bartender to come over. I jump as I feel a large hand on my bare back. I know it is Colton as soon as the tingles ignite across my skin. His hand slides lower and he squeezes my ass. I'm very happy that I chose my shortest black skirt tonight. I turn to glare at him. His expression is unreadable, which pisses me off. What the fuck do you think you're doing? I ask him, making my voice as cold as possible. He needs to know I'm not standing for this shit. Touching what's mine, he replies, and I look at him in shock. Oh, my goddess, is he drunk? My eyes narrow as I look at him. I take a deep breath as I see the size of his pupils. Worse, he's high. What have you taken? He ignores my question and wraps his arm around my waist, pulling me against him. What are you doing to me? He says quietly, but I just managed to hear it. I grab his hand and pull him over to the dance floor where Cass is. I'm going to take him outside. He's fucked, I tell her. She says she'll wait for me on this floor, and I pull Colton out into the cool night air. I lead him away from the queue outside and down the deserted street next to the club. He leans against the wall and looks at me. What have you taken? I ask again, folding my arms across my chest. I feel silly telling him off when he's nearly a foot taller than me, but I'm really pissed off. Relax, it's just a bit of MD, he mumbles, leaning his head back against the wall and closing his eyes. MDMA. How often do you take drugs? I demand to know, knowing full well I sound like his mother. A lot now you're in my life, he says angrily, and I flinch. Okay, that hurts. He seems to realize because his eyes soften, and he reaches out to touch me. I take a step back and sigh when I see the pain flicker in his eyes. You don't understand. I'm not good enough for you, he says, and I hate hearing the hurt in his voice. He truly believes what he's saying. You are good enough for me, I tell him, stepping closer so that we're almost touching. No, I'm not. You're like an angel, my angel, he replies, and I roll my eyes. He's so high. I can smell your innocence, angel. I can't take that from you, he tells me, running his rough hand down my cheek. Maybe I was saving it for you, I mutter, feeling stupid for saying it out loud. I am going to regret this tomorrow. I can feel it. Then I am very flattered, but I won't take that from you. I don't deserve you. He runs his fingers through my hair, and I try not to close my eyes at the marvelous feeling. What makes you think you're not? I ask him, and his eyes darken. I'm nothing like you. You're perfect. I'm fucked up, an angel. I've fucked other people. I didn't wait like you, he says, and I take a sharp intake of air at his last words. Stop calling me innocent. If you want to keep pushing me away, fine, be on your own, I tell him angrily. I clench my fists and walk away from him. What do you mean? You are innocent. He grabs my hand and turns me round to face him. You're making me out to be so different than you, and yes, I am, but stop patronizing me with how innocent I am. It's really pissing me off. I may not have slept with anyone, but that doesn't mean I'm the Virgin Mary, I shout angrily. Stop pretending that piercings and tattoos are the reason you won't be with me. It's pathetic. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go find some fit guy whose face I can sit on, I yell at him. My whole body is shaking now. I'm so mad. I step back in shock as his face contorts with pain and he promptly throws up on the pavement. Well, I was not expecting that. I sigh and wait for him to finish throwing up whatever he drank, because he certainly didn't eat anything. As the last of the liquid comes up, I help him sit down on the side of the road. Don't move, I'll be right back, I tell him, but he doesn't even look at me. I rush inside and tell Cass I'm going to take him home. She comes with me and brings a glass of water and some napkins from the bar. I run over to Colton and quickly wipe his mouth with the napkins and throw them in a nearby bin as Cass hands him the plastic cup of water. We need to get him home. Come on, I tell her. We each get a shoulder and help Colton into a taxi where I am warned I'll have to pay a fine if he throws up again. We arrive at my house about 5 minutes later with no throwing up, thank God. Cass says goodnight and gets back in the taxi to go to her own house. Colton manages to get up the stairs by himself and I follow behind with a bowl in case he throws up again. Finding a spare toothbrush so he can clean his teeth, I take off my makeup and slip into an oversized t-shirt before going into my bathroom to clean my teeth. He collapses on the bed, and I pull off his jeans and shoes for him. I hesitate as I get to his t-shirt. He opens his beautiful eyes and looks at me before giving me a small smirk. I'll do it, Angel, he teases quietly, sliding off his t-shirt so I can see the full extent of his rippling muscle. Most of his chest is covered in tattoos, but my eyes land on the scars caused by claws or knives. Dotted across his body, there's at least 10. He catches me looking and quickly pulls the covers over him. I turn off the lights and slide under the duvet. I would make him sleep on the couch, but I don't know, he might react to the drugs he's taken, so it's probably safer I stay with him. And this way I get to perv on his gorgeous body. I feel him roll over so we are close enough that I can feel his body heat on my arm. I went to prison, Angel, he whispers, and I roll over to face him. I can just make out his beautiful face in the darkness. For how long? 6 months. When I was 18, I killed a rogue and the police found his body before we could destroy it. They had my fingerprints and everything. There was nothing the shifter council could do but shorten my sentence, he explains, and I nod, knowing he can see. I don't say anything, I just roll over and hope sleep comes quickly. It doesn't.
Thank you for joining me on this romance. Chapter 13, Kayla.
Despite my rough night, when I awake at 11 a.m., I feel surprisingly good. Maybe it's because I slept in the same bed as my mate last night. I look over to see him sleeping soundly next to me. He looks so peaceful in his sleep, not like the dickhead he is at all. I skip downstairs to make some breakfast and find my gay best friend, Cal, already cooking bacon. Want me to make the eggs? I ask him, already getting out the eggs and a bowl. Sure. Put the radio on whilst you're at it, please, he says, and I eye him curiously. He has messy hair, a t-shirt, and boxers on and a very big smile on his face. Did someone pull last night? I tease, bumping my hip against his. Maybe. He grins at me. Oh, and here he is. This is Kieran. Cal nods at the door and I turn to see a stunning mixed-race guy wave at me and sit down at the island. Nice to meet you, Karen. How do you like your eggs? I crack the eggs into a bowl and pour them carefully into the sizzling pan. One for you, I think, Cal comments, turning up the radio so the song plays loudly. I dance around the kitchen with him. He holds my hand and helps me pirouette before pulling me back into his arms and sway against each other as Kieran watches amusedly. A low growl sounds out from the door, and I quickly step away from Cal as I spot the murderous look on Colton's face. He looks completely fuckable in just his low-hanging jeans from last night. Cal quickly serves up bacon and eggs for him and Kieran and ushers Kieran out of the kitchen. Colton rudely glares at them and takes Kieran's seat at the island. Was that really necessary? They're my friends, I say angrily as I serve up a plate and place it in front of him. I serve up one for myself and sit next to him, handing him some cutlery. He was touching you. He shrugs and starts eating. He is gay. I roll my eyes and Colton pauses for a minute before carrying on eating. Still don't like it, he mumbles, and I don't bother replying. I'm sorry about last night, he says, his voice apologetic as he takes my empty plate off me and washes them in the sink. It's okay, it was enlightening. Do you even remember what you said? I ask him, prepared for him to go back to being cold and off with me. I remember everything, Angel, and I am so sorry, he replies, turning around to face me. It's fine. I just need to know, are you going to reject me or not? I ask him bluntly and he looks at me in surprise. Angel, I'd never reject you, he replies, and I breathe a silent sigh of relief. Thank Goddess for that. He opens his arms for me, and I cautiously step into them, wrapping my arms around his wide chest. I was right, he does engulf me. You're so small, he mumbles into my hair, and I roll my eyes, breathing in his delicious masculine scent. Thanks, I reply sarcastically, and he squeezes me against him. I like it, he whispers, his hands slowly sliding down to squeeze my bare ass underneath the t-shirt. I'm sorry for doing this last night, he apologizes, squeezing my ass again. It's fine, I reply, sliding my hands down his back to squeeze his ass, making him chuckle at me. His phone rings in his pocket, ruining our moment. He reluctantly pulls away and answers it. Shit, yeah, I'm sorry I forgot. I'll be there in 10. He quickly hangs up and slips his phone back in his pocket, turning to face me with a sad look. I'm sorry, I forgot I've got patrol this morning. It's my shift, I've got to go now, he says, and I tell him it's okay. To be honest, I'm just grateful last night happened. I feel like I understand him a lot more now. Just as he's leaving, he leans in and kisses my forehead. Thank you for last night, Angel. I'll come see you after my shift. About 1, he asks and I nod eagerly. I FaceTime the girls so we can all talk together, and I fill them in on last night. It feels so good talking about him in a positive way. I take a shower after I say bye to the girls. I'm so happy I don't have work today. After my shower, I have what seems like an hour-long phone call with my mom, filling her in on me finding my mate. Obviously, I leave out some parts, but she gets very excited and demands to meet him. Goddess knows how that will go. 1 o'clock comes and goes. I sit on my bed, annoyed that he's late. I've taken a lot of time in doing my hair and makeup. I even chose to wear my best jeans and low-cut top that flaunts my boobs. At nearly 2 o'clock, I decide he's not coming and settle down in the living room to watch a film to keep my mind off it. My phone rings and I pick up as soon as I see Sienna's face on the screen. Hey, you, I greet her, trying not to sound as shit as I feel. Kayla, I need you to come over right now. Some rogues attacked at the border. Colton was hurt. He's okay, don't worry, but I think you should be here, she tells me, and a horrible feeling of dread washes over me. I'm coming now, I tell her. I quickly hang up and grab my car keys. I race down the road, making it to the Black Mountain Pack territory in record time. I run out of my car to where Sienna is waiting for me outside the pack house. He's in the practice, come on. She holds my hand tightly, running with me over to the building. We burst through the doors and go into one of the patient rooms. I see Kate standing in front of the bed, checking over his vitals. I nervously step around him so I can see Colton. He looks awful, still gorgeous, but awful. His tan skin has paled. He has a large cut from his cheekbone to his temple. His left leg is in a cast, and there's claw marks all over his arms and chest. Hey, Angel, he rasps at me. I rush over to his side, holding his large, rough hand in my small ones. How are you feeling? I ask cautiously, feeling better as he squeezes his hand in mine. Like I got jumped by 5 rogues, he replies sardonically, and I can't help but roll my eyes. He's okay. He'll be fully healed by tomorrow. It's just going to hurt a bit, Kate told me. Thank Goddess for our fast healing. A bit. It hurts a lot, he groans, closing his eyes and leaning his head back on his pillow. Am I allowed a fag? He asks, and both Kate and I say no. I'm joking, Angel, I won't smoke them anymore, he promises. He presses the button, so the bed lifts up so that he's sitting up. What about the drugs? I ask him, raising an eyebrow at him. He shuffles over and pats the space on the bed. I hesitate for a moment before sitting down on the bed so we're right next to each other. Don't need them, got you. He shrugs and grins at me. I roll my eyes at his cheesy line. I was really worried about you, I tell him, looking down at our entwined hands. I'm all right, Angel, don't worry. He pulls on my hands, so I lean against his chest. How do you still look fit in a hospital gown? I ask, secretly annoyed that he manages to pull it off. I'm glad you approve. He kisses my forehead before speaking again. There's a full moon in 2 days. Kate has agreed to look after you and Sienna whilst Jax and I restrain ourselves. He explains, and I remember Sienna briefly mentioning it to me this morning. Will you be okay? I ask him and his eyes soften as he looks at me. I'll be all right. I just need to keep away from you. You're very tempting, he teases, and I grin at him, wrapping my arms around his neck. Oh, really? I ask and he nods, lowering his eyes to my lips. He looks back up at my eyes, as if asking permission, as he leans in to press his lips against mine. Everything around us fades away and all I can focus on is the amazing feeling of him kissing me. I slide my hands through his hair, pulling gently on it so he lets out a low growl. Fucking hell, guys. I quickly pull away to see Jax at the door with an amused Sienna behind him. I came to see if he was all right. Apparently he is, he mutters dryly, rolling his eyes at us.
Chapter 14 Sienna.
I lay in bed in the dark next to Jax. It's been a long day, but by tomorrow morning, Colton will be fully healed. I'm so sorry for not letting you mark me. I want you to, I tell him, feeling guilty that tomorrow night he will be chained up in a cell somewhere. Don't apologize, he replies, running a hand through my hair. I pull my body close to his. I lean in and kiss him, which effectively shuts him up. His hands slide down my body to grab my ass, pulling me hard against his large erection. I want you, but I won't be able to stop myself from marking you, he whispers huskily as he kisses down my neck, his teeth grazing temptingly across my skin. Okay, no sex, but I want to make you feel good, I whisper, blushing furiously at my own words. I bite my lip and slide my hand down into his boxers, wrapping my hand around his erection. He slides his boxers off, giving me plenty of room to move my hand up and down his hard cock. I put my head under the duvet and move down so I can run my tongue along the tip. I grin as I hear Jax hiss in response. I squeal as Jax grabs me and rips my thong off. Before I can comprehend what's happening, he moves me, so I'm sat on his face and his cock is in my face. I shift so I'm comfortable with my legs open wide. A shiver runs down me as I feel his cool breath on me before he runs his tongue down my core. I slide my mouth back down his cock, taking it as deep as I can as his tongue tortures my clit. Moments later I felt that wonderful feeling build inside as he tongue swirls repeatedly around my clit. My whole body tenses and my legs shake as my orgasm rips through me, sending wave after wave of pleasure through my body. Determined to make him feel the same way, I relax my throat and take him down to the hilt. I suck hard, bobbing my head up and down, loving the low growls and moans of pleasure he releases in response. I feel him tense, and his hands dig into my hair. He continually licks at my core, but my focus is on him and only seconds later, his hips thrust up, so he hits the back of throat, releasing himself. I swallow it all and hurriedly slide off him, rushing to the bathroom to clean my teeth. I slip back under the quilt on shaky legs and Jax immediately takes me into his arms, kissing me. Thank you, I whisper, and he chuckles at me before kissing me again. Anytime, he teases, and I roll my eyes. Good night, baby, he kisses me one final time before rolling over. Night, Alpha, I tease, and he growls in reply, making me smirk.
Kayla's POV.
I was very reluctant to return home last night, but I didn't have any of my things with me, so the moment I woke up this morning, I booked a week off work to spend time with my new mate. I got ready and drove over to the pack house. Last night he was well enough to be moved to his bedroom in the pack house. The look on his face when I saw the state of his room, he was so embarrassed. I hurry up the stairs, trying to quell my excitement. I'm already getting feelings for this boy, help me. I knock on the door, opening it when he grunts. I can't help but smile as I look around, seeing that he has obviously tried to tidy up his room. He sits on the bed, smiling sheepishly at me. I'm sorry about the way it looked yesterday, he says, and my heart melts a bit, as if he tidied for me. What a cutie. I walk over and sit down on the bed next to him. My heartbeat doubles as he pulls me in for a kiss. I missed you, Angel, he tells me quietly, and I grin at him. I thought you didn't do feelings, I ask, and he glares at me. I didn't, then you came along and fucked everything up. He rolls his eyes, but he holds me tightly against him. How's the leg? I gesture at his left leg, which is still in a cast, but all his cuts have healed. Cade's taking the cast off in an hour, and then I'm good to go. He winks at me, and I squeal, covering my eyes. I can't cope with winking, it makes me cringe so much. I peek at him through my hands and notice the cut on his face has left a scar. I gently trace my finger down it. Not my first and probably won't be my last. Colton shrugs and I smile at him. I drop him off at the medical practice to have his cast removed and then leave to have lunch with Sienna. Are you nervous about tonight? I ask and Sienna nods at me from across the table. Of course, but it's okay. It's only for one night, she comments. Suddenly I think of the rogues. This would be the perfect time to attack. I know what you're thinking. That's why Jax has doubled patrols. He's also going to be chained in a cabin in the forest so he will be able to hear if something is up. She explains. I open my mouth to complain, but she stops me. I know, I tried arguing with him that it's not safe him being close to the border, but he has made up his mind, and I feel safe knowing he's going to have all the patrol around him. Besides, he'll be more uncontrollable and aggressive. It's not a good idea to attack tonight, Sienna tells me, and I nod. That means poor Colton will be down in the cells on his own. As the sun begins to lower in the sky, Jax and Sienna head off to the cabin holding hands. Half an hour later, she returns to Kate and I in the living room. Kate has made us enchiladas and picked out a film for us to watch until 8 o'clock, when we will be locked upstairs. There's a knock at the door and I answer it to find my beautiful mate standing there, looking unbelievably cute with his hands shoved in the pockets of his jeans. I look up at him. I still can't believe he's nearly a foot taller than me and so much wider. From behind, his body covers mine. You wouldn't even know I'm standing in front of him. I'm about to go down. I wanted to say goodbye. He shrugs sheepishly and I grin at him. I'll come with you. I slip my small hand into his big one and he leads us over to a building near the medical practice. It is a simple one-story building. Its windows are all high up near the roof so you can't see in or out, but light can come in. Colton puts his hand on the fingerprint recognition panel and the steel door clicks open. I look around as we step inside. There's 8 cells, 4 on each side. Colton stops at the one at the end, which has an en-suite and comfy-looking bed compared to the others. The cell is all white, with plain walls. Only the gate and bars separate the room from the hall. He presses some buttons on a control panel on the wall, and the gate opens. I look uneasily at the large silver chains that are fixed to the wall. The cuffs attached to the chains lay open and waiting on the bed. Colton turns to face me and suddenly I don't want to leave him. I wrap my arms around his neck and pull him down to me. His solid body crushes against mine and he holds me tight against him. I'll be fine. I'll see you tomorrow morning, he says huskily in my ear, and I know that I should leave soon. Okay, be safe, I tell him, pulling back so I can kiss him. He takes control of the kiss, his hand gripping my hair, holding me in place as his tongue dips into my mouth. I allow him to kiss me for a little longer before I pull away, both of us breathing heavily. I'm sorry, it's already starting. I can't help it, he apologizes, looking ashamed of himself as he sits down on the bed and clips the silver cuffs tightly around his wrists. He pulls against them, testing their hold. Satisfied, he sits back down and looks at me. I almost want to laugh. This huge, solid brute of a man sat with silver chains on him like bracelets. Have a good night, I tell him, kissing his head and then shutting the gate firmly behind me. I rush across the square to where Kate is already standing at Jax's doorway, giving me a hard look because I've been taking too long. I thought I was going to have to come drag you out, he mutters, sitting down next to me as I reach for my plate of enchiladas. I change into my brother's t-shirt, it's huge and comfy to sleep in, and come downstairs to finish dinner and watch Mean Girls with Kate and Sienna.
Chapter 15 Kayla.
At 8:30, the sun has fully set and a loud howl sounds out from the forest. Sienna sits up suddenly from the pillows on the floor and rushes to the window. Fuck's sake, I thought we had more time, Kate growls irritably. She pulls a pair of silver handcuffs from his jeans and walks up to Sienna. Ooh, kinky, I joke, and he glares at me. I hold my hands up in surrender and laugh as he pounces on Sienna as she's looking out the window for Jackson. He pulls her arms behind her and cuffs her wrists. Let go of me. He needs me. She screams and he spins her round. I step back in shock as I see her pupils are wide and her eyes are almost black. Help me get her upstairs, Kate commands, and I rush up the stairs in front of him, swinging open the bedroom door. The chains are already prepped on the bed, and he throws her onto it. Before she climb off, we cuff her ankles and wrists to the bed. Let me go. Sienna screams, taking a deep breath and screaming loudly, so loud that Kate and I cover our ears. A few seconds later, and an answering howl comes from the forest. Because Jackson is an alpha, it is hitting him first. But it's only a matter of time until I hear Colton's howl. I'm really sorry, Sienna, Kate apologizes as he pulls out a briefcase and opens it, revealing 2 needles and some serum that must be a sedative. He is not pricking me with one of those. Kayla, get those cuffs. We need to get you secured next, Kate says as he jabs the needle into Sienna's arm and sedates her. I turn around and get the silver cuffs off the desk. I walk over to where he is sat next to the bed, putting away the needle. A howl sounds from outside and every hair on my body raises in sweet anticipation. That's not Jackson, that's my mate, Kayla. Kate asks, not turning around. I take a deep breath and seize his wrist, quickly clipping a cuff around it before attaching the other cuff to the bed. Kayla, stop. What are you doing? Let me out of these. Cade shouts, pulling angrily on the cuffs. I'm sorry, Cade. I need him, I say, and as if on cue, Colton howls again. No, Kayla, you don't want to do this, Cade tells me, and I kneel down, so we're face to face. I am sorry, Cade. But look at me, I do want this, I tell him, and he looks into my eyes, seeing the truth behind my words. He sighs and leans back against the bed. Shit, fine, go get him, girl. He rolls his eyes and I grin at him. I chuck him the keys and run downstairs, my whole body coming alive with excitement as another howl rings out. I'm at the cells in seconds. I press my hand to the panel and the door clicks open. The moment I step inside, I'm hit with the most wonderful, erotic scent that sets my body on fire. Colton must smell me too because a low growl sounds from the end cell, and the chains clink as he moves. My heart pounds loudly in my ears as I walk barefoot down the corridor. The closer I get to him, the more the throbbing between my legs grows. By the time I walk up to the bars, my body is literally burning, and my breathing is coming out in quick pants. I grin as I see Colton sat on the bed. The full moon is shining brightly into the room, allowing me the beautiful sight of my mate. His t-shirt and jeans lay on the floor and his chest glows with a layer of sweat. Angel, what are you doing here? He growls, his voice sends a visible shiver down my spine, and I close my eyes, rejoicing in the sound of it. I want you, I breathe, and he stands up, pulling hard against the chains. My eyes drops to the huge tent in his boxers. I quickly turn to the control pad, typing in the code I saw him enter earlier. The gate silently clicks open. I pull it open further and slide into the cell. Colton strains against the chains, but they're too short for him to touch me. Angel, I won't be able to stop myself. It's not safe you being here. You need to go. He grinds out his words through his teeth. It's obvious he's fighting an inner battle. I smirk at him and slide my thong off from underneath my t-shirt. Angel, stop. I can't control myself. He warns me, growling loudly and pulling on the chains, straining to reach me. Maybe I don't want you to control yourself, I whisper quietly, stepping forward so our faces are almost touching. His gorgeous scent surrounds me, intoxicating me with its primal aroma. I don't want your first time to be like this, he says, and I can see the pain in his blazing eyes. I reach up and run my hand down his cheek, feeling his scorching skin cool beneath my touch. I want you, but if you want, I can go, I offer, knowing there's no way he'll let me leave now. No, he growls angrily, pulling on the chains again. I get the key from on top of the panel and unlock the cuff on his right hand. The instant that the cuff falls to the floor, Colton's hand wraps around my throat and he slams me into the wall. This is your last chance, Angel. I won't be able to stop after this. I will be rough. I might even hurt you. I can't control myself, he admits, and I can see how much inner turmoil he is facing. I lick my lips, loving the way his black eyes follow the movement. I think I will like it rough, I whisper, and his hand grips my throat tightly, not enough to cut off my air supply, but enough to turn me on so much more and hopefully leave a mark. Then let me out of these, he threatens darkly, holding up his left hand. I quickly unlock the second cuff. Colton rips his boxers off of him. My eyes widen as I take him in. His cock sways in front of his stomach, reaching up past his belly button. Whoa. He stalks towards me and grabs the bottom of my t-shirt. Why are you wearing another man's shirt? He asks me. His voice is an octave deeper and barely recognizable as his own. It's my brother's, I whisper, not recognizing my own breathy voice either. Colton's dark eyes glare down at the shirt, and he rips it in two, pulling it away from my body. Before he can do the same to my favorite bra, I quickly unhook it and discard it to the floor. His onyx eyes take in my boobs and suddenly his mouth is latched onto my pierced nipple, sucking hard so that I dig my hands in his hair to hold myself up. He groans as I pull on his hair. I move away from him, so my nipple pops out of his mouth. Before he can complain, I drop to my knees and grab his cock with both my hands, guiding it to my mouth. I wrap my lips around the wide head and take him as deep as I can. I risk a glance up at him and he is looking down at me with thick lust in his eyes. His hands tangle in my hair, guiding my mouth down onto him. So fucking beautiful, he hisses quietly, thrusting his hips so his cock hits the back of my throat. All too soon, he pulls away and drops me down on the bed. He climbs on top of me, so he is in between my legs. He rests his weight on his hands on either side of my head. Last chance, Angel, he warns me, his voice husky and rough. Colt, just take me already, I snap at him. He rubs his blunt tip up and down me for a moment, coating himself in me before he slowly sinks inside me. I gasp at the pain of the sudden intrusion. I have been saving myself for all these years for this, for him. That's the first time you've said my name, he whispers in my ear as he pushes himself further inside me. Fucking hell, Angel, he hisses, pushing all the way in. He pulls out and the pain diminishes with each thrust. I close my eyes. This feels amazing. And I haven't even climaxed yet. As if sensing that I've adjusted to his size, he pulls one of my legs up to rest on his shoulder and then he really starts moving. Moans pour shamelessly out of my mouth as he repeatedly slams himself into me. I hold onto his shoulders as he shoves inside of me. My nails dig into his back, but that only makes him move faster. He suddenly grabs me and picks me up, and my brain struggles to catch up as I'm slammed against the wall. It is almost enough to hurt, but then he pushes deep inside of me again and the pain disappears. His large hand wraps around my throat, holding me tightly in place whilst his other hand holds one of my legs, which is wrapped around his waist. I can feel my juices coating my thighs and dripping down his cock. I have never been more turned on in my life. Just as I'm getting used to the position, Colton puts me on the floor and flips me over, pulling up my hips so I'm on all fours. He slams back into me and grips tightly onto my hair, pulling on it painfully so my head is yanked back and my back arches. I moan vociferously and push back against him, meeting him for every thrust. His other hand grips hold of my hip, squeezing so tight I know it'll bruise, and I want it to. I let him have a couple more thrusts before I spin around and push on his chest. He lies back against the cold floor, but our bodies are too warm to feel it. I straddle his waist and slowly sink down onto him. Too slow apparently, because he grabs my hips and slams up inside me. I gasp and steady myself by putting my hands on his hard chest. I take control and lift myself up off his cock before sliding down again. I can feel my body heat up as I pick up my speed, and soon he is the one moaning with his eyes closed. I lean forwards and offer my neck out to him. Without hesitation, he fists my hair and holds me in place. His teeth sink into my neck just as my orgasm hits. I clench down on him, causing him to come as well. He continues to mark me as he releases himself inside me. Eventually, he pulls his teeth away and pulls out of me. We lie on the floor, completely spent and sated, for about 5 minutes. Soon Colton has recovered, and he slides himself back inside me, ready for round 2.
Chapter 16 Kayla.
I wake up in Colton's arms, sore but completely sated. "Morning, princess," he mumbles, his voice thick from sleeping. "Morning," I reply, rolling over so I can face him. He kisses my forehead and runs his fingers through my hair. "If I died now, I'd die so fucking happy. How are you feeling?" he asks, worry in his voice. I reach up and stroke his cheek, running my finger down his scar. "Amazing, thank you. No regrets." He checks, his eyes searching my face for an answer. "Nope, none." I shake my head and he grins at me. "I should probably go check on Sienna." I sit up and stretch. The bedsheet falls to my waist, exposing my breasts. Colton reaches up and squeezes them, tweaking my nipples. "I think you should stay here with me," he whispers huskily. I swat his hands away before he can change my mind. "As tempting as you are, I need to know she's okay," I tell him, slipping on my bra and his t-shirt. "Mind if I borrow this?" I gesture to his t-shirt, although it's pretty pointless asking seeing as I'm already wearing it. "Keep it, Angel, looks better on you anyways," he replies as he gets up and pulls on his jeans. Knowing he's going commando does all sorts of things to my body. I kiss him on the cheek and hurry back over to the house. When I enter, the smell of bacon greets me. I follow the scent to the kitchen where I find Sienna, Jax, and Kate having breakfast. "Grab some." Kate gestures to all the food laid out. "Oh, my goddess, you made it," Sienna shouts, making us all jump. A blush creeps up my neck to my cheeks as all eyes turn to me. Yeah," I mumble, ducking my head so my hair falls over my face as I fill a plate with food. "You little hoe. Congrats." Sienna grins at me. I roll my eyes and sit down with them. "And here comes the man himself," Sienna calls. I look up as Colton enters the room, having found a shirt to put on. "Shame. I couldn't help myself. She's too delicious," Colton jokes, kissing my neck before serving himself some breakfast. "Colton and I are going on patrol this morning. We need to get on top of these rogues," Jackson announces and Colton sniggers. "Kinky," he comments and Jax glares at him. "All right, sounds good to me." He holds his hands up in surrender. "Why don't we all meet up for dinner tonight? There's a wonderful new restaurant in town called Alejandro's," Sienna suggests, and we all agree to meet there at 8. After the boys go on patrol, I help Sienna clear up and then go to Colton's room. I change and put on some jeans, but keep Colton's t-shirt on, wanting to smell like him. I step out of the pack house and turn in the direction of Jax's house, but a red-headed girl with bright blue eyes and a lot of ink steps in front of me. "Are you Kayla?" she asks. Her eyes roam up and down my body, making me want to fidget nervously. "Yeah, and you are," I reply, and her mouth sets in a thin line. "Vicky, look, I think you should know that Colton and I slept together the day he met you," she says, staring straight at me so I can see she's not lying. It's like being punched in the stomach. I feel all the color drain from my face and my mouth goes dry. I don't even know what to say. "I just think you should know. If it were my mate, I'd want to know," she continues, casually flicking her hair over her shoulder. I start to speak but trail off, not knowing how to respond to that. "He doesn't do relationships. Kayla, I'd be careful around him," Vicky tells me. She turns on her heel and walks away, leaving me standing there. I feel tears begin to prick at the back of my eyes, so I rush over to the trees, deciding that crying alone in the forest is better than in front of the pack house where everyone can see me. I curse loudly and run in deep enough that no one can pass by and see me. I collapse at the base of the large tree. I put my head in my hands and sob. That bitch. But to be honest, I'm grateful she told me. I should have known. He was right when he said we aren't good together, we're too different. Just looking at that girl shows me what he wants, and I look nothing like her. Don't get sad, get mad. That's what my mom always tells me to do if a guy hurts me, and right now, I'm fucking raging. What a prick.
Sienna's POV.
I'm putting the plates away when the doorbell rings. I answer it and I feel nervous as I meet the cold, assessing eyes of Mrs. Iverson. "Hi, Mrs. Iverson. Would you like to come in?" I ask, stepping to the side to let her in. "Thank you, Sienna," she responds, but she doesn't sound the least bit grateful. "Jax is on patrol at the moment, but he should be back shortly. Would you like a drink?" I offer as I follow her through the kitchen. She makes herself at home and sits down. Not knowing what to do, I lean against the counter opposite her. "No, I'm quite all right, thank you. I'll just wait for him," she says, her eyes never leaving me. I shift uncomfortably under her gaze. "Okay then." I trail off, wondering what on earth we're going to talk about. "Jackson seems very happy with you," she comments. She doesn't sound happy about that. "I hope so, he makes me very happy," I reply, smiling at her. Her face doesn't change. "You're very different to Sophia, you know," she says, looking at me curiously. I frown, wondering who Sophia is. Is Sophia his ex-girlfriend? I ask, and Mrs. Iverson raises a perfectly plucked eyebrow at me. "Did Jackson not tell you?" "She was his fiancée," she replies, and my mouth drops open unattractively. "What the fuck? I can tell from your expression that you didn't know," she replies, looking smug as she leans back in the chair. "Fane and I built this house for them." She gestures around the kitchen, and I start to feel sick. "It was such a tragedy when she died, it broke Jackson's heart." She sighs, shaking her head. I grip the counter and try to stop the room from spinning. "I had no idea," I managed to bite the words out, feeling even worse under Mrs. Iverson's scrutinizing gaze. "They were childhood sweethearts. She was set to be Luna. They got engaged on his 21st birthday," she continues, and I frown. Why is she telling me all this? I don't want to fucking know. Silence descends on the room. I can feel her eyes on me, whilst my eyes are on my white knuckles as I squeeze the granite countertop, trying to keep my emotions in check. "Well, I can see I've given you a lot to think about. I'll speak to Jackson later," she announces, standing up to leave. I don't say a word as she walks out of the house, leaving me alone in the kitchen. Needing some air, I wait until Mrs. Iverson is truly gone and then follow her outside. I head straight for the trees. I need to clear my head. He was engaged. He told me she was just a girlfriend. And now we're staying in the house that was meant for them. I feel sick as I march through the trees, wiping angrily at the tears that stray down my cheeks. When I get my hands on him, my angry ramblings are cut short as I hear someone crying. I glance around and see Kayla curled up below a tree. "Kayla," I ask, my voice shaky with emotion. She looks up at me, her mascara in streaks down her face. "He slept with someone the day he met me," she wails, and a whole new round of tears fall. "What?" I shout, running over to her and dropping to my knees in front of her. "He slept with some girl called Vicky," she hiccups, and I pull her in for a hug. "Oh, Kay, what an asshole," I mumble, holding her to me. "Wait, why are you crying?" she asks, her face is a blurry mess to my teary eyes. "Jackson was engaged. His house was meant to be their house before she died," I tell her, and her eyes widen in shock. "What the hell?" she whispers, and I nod in agreement. I sit down next to her and wrap my arm around her shoulders as we cry pathetically. "I'm sorry, I'm such a mess," she mumbles after a while, and I shake my head. "No, you have every right to be upset. Your mate cheated on you," I tell her. I sit up and stretch. "But we can't sit here all day feeling sorry for ourselves. Come on, let's go inside and get a drink," I suggest. I stand up and offer my hand out to help her up. There's a whooshing sound and I feel a sudden jab of pain in my leg. Both of us look down at the colored dart sticking out of my thigh. "What the?" I wonder out loud and then panic as realization sets in. "Kayla, run," I shout. Kayla jumps to her feet. I try to hop after to her, but my leg has gone to sleep, and I can feel the anesthetic spreading. There are more whooshing sounds and I see a blue dart hit Kayla's back. She yelps and falls to the floor. "Help!" I yell as I fall to the ground. Black shadows creep into my sight from my peripherals. I see a blur of the green trees before everything goes black.
Thank you for joining me on this romance. Chapter 17, Sienna.
"Sienna, wake up." Kayla's voice hisses in my ear, and I groggily open my eyes. They feel like they've been glued shut. I blink rapidly, trying to force my vision to focus. I look around, relieved to see Kayla sat next to me. We're in a bland bedroom, with only a dresser and a bathroom attached. I sit up on the bed we're on and groan, clutching my head as it throbs painfully. Fucking rogues, I growl. I desperately look around the room again, but there are no windows. I don't even know what time it is. I only woke up a few minutes ago. I can't believe those bastards sedated us, Kayla replies, lifting up her sleeve to look at the purple bruise on her arm where a second dart hit her. I slide to the end of the bed and cautiously stand up, cursing as pain shoots down my thigh where the dart entered me. I hobble over to the door, cursing again as I find out it's locked. I rush into the bathroom and check all the cupboards, no razors, nothing we could use as a weapon. Just as I come out of the bathroom, the door rattles and then opens. A tall man in his early 30s enters and glares at us. He says nothing as sets a tray down on the dresser. I step towards the door, ready to make an escape, but a bulky man stands in the doorway. He crosses his thick arms across his chest and raises an eyebrow at me, questioning whether I'm gonna try my luck or not. I take a step back. No thank you. Eat, the tall man says coldly, turning around and walking towards the door. What do you want with us? Kayla asks, but he ignores her and slams the door shut, divided by. I sigh as I hear the lock being turned. I walk over to the tray and inspect it, 2 cheese toasties. My stomach growls and I pick up the plates, handing one to Kayla. Do you think they've drugged it? Kayla asks, lifting up one of the slices of bread to inspect the inside. I'll eat mine and we'll leave it an hour, then we'll know, I suggest, and Kayla sighs and nods, placing her plate on the floor. Fine, but I don't think they would. What's the point? We're not going anywhere, she mutters glumly, leaning back against the headboard. I eat the toastie, my stomach is grateful we've been fed, it tastes good. I wonder how long we'll be here, I muse, putting the plate back on the tray and lying down on the bed. Until the pack comes to rescue us. I'd be worried if I were these rogues. No one wants the Black Mountain pack after them, Kayla replies, and I nod in agreement. I'm sorry, I was so stupid. I should have made us go back to the house to talk. We were sitting ducks for them to get us. I apologize, feeling guilty that I got us into this mess. It's not your fault, see. I went into the forest and sat in that clearing, Kayla insists. I watch her eyes light up and I follow her gaze over to her handbag on the floor. She grabs in and sits in on her lap. Tell me you have something we could use against them in there, I ask, sitting up to watch as she rummages about in it. Lip balm, she offers and I roll my eyes. She shrugs and puts some on. They've taken my cable ties out and they've taken my phone, she mumbles, pulling out a packet of Polos and eating one. Figures they would, I groan and flop back down on the bed. Well, if we get bored, I have a word search book with me, she says, and I burst out laughing. Only you, Kayla, I tease, grinning at her. I feel fine, you should eat if you want to, I suggest, and she happily starts munching away on the toastie. What feels like hours and about 20 completed word searches later, I scream loudly and throw myself back on the bed. I am so bored. I cry out, and Kayla shakes her head at me. Just be grateful that we're not in a prison cell or something, she tells me, and I sigh, knowing she's right. I know, but it's been so long, I don't even know what time it is. Before I can rant anymore, the lock twists and the door opens. Tall guy walks in with another tray and picks up the one from earlier. We're so bored in here, please let us out. I beg him and his cold blue eyes coolly access me. Alpha doesn't want to see you yet, he'll see you tomorrow, he replies, he sounds bored. Alpha, who is your alpha? I want to see him, I say, and he rolls his eyes at me. Just eat your food, he goes to shut the door and I jump up. Wait, can you at least give us a TV or something? We're so bored, I tell him again. He glares at me and shuts the door. I sigh and turn around to Kayla, who shrugs. Was worth a shot, I say dejectedly. I go over to the tray and my eyes light up as I see spaghetti bolognese. It looks basic, but I don't care because it smells amazing. I bring the plate over to Kayla and we eat our meals in silence. I'm still mad at him, but I miss him, Kayla says quietly, pushing the last of her pasta around her plate. I miss Jax too, don't worry. I force a smile for her and slide onto the floor so I can lean back against the bed. I might have a shower, just for something to do, she suggests, and I nod, picking up the word search book to continue where we left off. About 10 minutes later, Kayla emerges from the bathroom with a large white towel wrapped around her head. They definitely thought this through. There's towels and shampoo and conditioner and everything, she tells me, pulling the towel off and scrubbing her wet hair. That's good of them, I mutter sarcastically, and she rolls her eyes at me. So, tell me something no one else knows about you, she asks, surprising me. You want to have girl chat whilst we're being held against our will by rogues that will most likely try to kill us. and our mates? I ask sardonically and she scoffs at me. Well, what do you suggest? Just answer the question. See, she replies, and I shake my head in amusement. What must be hours later, we are still talking, trying to fend off the boredom. At this point, we are both lying upside down on the bed, resting our feet against the headboard. So then he pinned me up against the wall. And words cannot explain how incredible it felt. 𝒂𝒊 is cut off as tall guy enters the room and collects the tray. He leaves without saying a word to us. 𝒂𝒊 continues as if he never came in. And we were at it all night, at least 3 hours I'd say, and I always thought if I had sex for that long I'd get bored, but if anything, I wanted more. And so it continues like that. She tells me about last night with Colton. I tell her in real detail about how I felt when I first met Jax and how scared I was of his pack. We speak about the most random and weird things, but I don't think I've ever been more grateful to have my best friend in the same position as me. Of course I wish she wasn't in this position, but I know if she wasn't, I'd be going crazy right now. We find toothbrushes in the cupboard in the bathroom and clean our teeth before sliding into bed. I'm jealous that 𝒂𝒊 luckily wore Colton's t-shirt today so she can smell him. If I ever get out of this, I need to start wearing Jax's clothes more.
Chapter 18 𝒂𝒊.
I wake up to the smell of Colton, and for a horrible, twisted moment, I think I'm back in his arms. But no, the events of yesterday flash quick and painful through my mind. The girl with the tattoos, the cheating mate, the rogues. I roll over to find Sienna already sat up in bed and doing a word search. Those bloody word searches are saving our sanity right now. Good morning, Kay, she says perkily, using her nickname for me. Morning, why are you so chirpy? I mumble, sitting up and stretching. We are one day closer to getting out of here, she explains, and I roll my eyes. Thank goddess, I reply, sliding out of bed and heading to the bathroom to freshen up. The door opens as I come out of the en-suite. I go over to my handbag as I remember I haven't taken my pill today. Do you want one of mine? I ask Sienna, holding up the packet. Oh, crap. Yes, please. Last thing I need is to be on my period here, she replies. I nod and hand her a pill. The tall man from earlier comes in with a tray with what I presume is breakfast. But what surprises me is the big bouncer-looking guy that follows in after with a small TV. I watch excitedly as he plugs everything in and adjusts the settings. Alpha will see you shortly, the tall man announces, and then they both leave the room. Well, thank fuck for that, Sienna says. She grabs the remote and starts flicking through the channels. I bring the plates of toast over and set them down on the carpet. We sit down and enjoy our breakfast whilst watching cartoons. We both look up as the door opens, and in strolls an attractive man we haven't seen before. He's taller than tall guy, which is tall, probably about 63. He has dark hair and brown eyes. He looks harmless if it wasn't for the malicious look on his face and scars all over his arms. Ladies, let me apologize for the way you were brought here. He smirks, closing the door behind him. He has a gravelly voice that immediately rubs me the wrong way. Sienna and I both lower our plates to the floor. Sienna turns off the TV. By darting us, you mean? Sienna spits angrily and he smirks again. Bastard. Yes, I am sorry about that. This really is nothing personal. It's just to do with your alpha, he says, and I frown, looking at Sienna. What is your problem with Jax? She asks and his eyes light up. So, you're his mate. Good, I was trying to work out which one of you it was, he replies, and Sienna's face pales. I squeeze her hand reassuringly. Why have you taken us? I ask, and he narrows his eyes at me. Because I need you to lure Jax here, so I can kill him, he declares boastfully, and Sienna starts shaking with anger next to me. He'll kill you, Sienna says darkly, and I know she is beyond pissed. I would be. We'll see about that, Luna, he teases, and his eyes narrow as he looks at her. Or rather, you're not a Luna yet, are you? He hasn't marked you. Interesting. He grins and Sienna scowls, gripping my hand tightly. Who is your mate? I can smell him all over you, he asks, his question now directed at me. Fuck off, I reply angrily, and he raises an eyebrow in amusement. I guess we'll find out. Anyways, hopefully your alpha will be here soon. We have unfinished business. He leaves before we can ask him anything else. I'm scared, Kay. What if he gets hurt? Sienna asks me and I quickly pull her into a hug. He'll be fine, see. You know how strong his pack is, and he's not stupid. He'll know it's a trap, I reassure her. Now that we have the TV, we know the time, and the day passes painfully slowly. We watch TV, Sienna showers, and I braid her hair for her. We eat our meals in silence, and the mood in our small room takes a depressing turn. Yesterday we were bored, but hopeful. Today, we are both worried sick that our mates are going to walk straight into a trap. I wake up the next morning and take a long shower. With the wonderful smell of the shampoo filling my nose and the hot water hitting my back, I can convince myself for a few precious minutes that I'm back at home. Soon enough my bubble is burst, and I step out of the shower and wrap a towel around myself. I look down at my thong on the floor. Yesterday, I just turned it inside out, but I can't do that again today. I sigh and fill the sink with hot water. I squirt in some shower gel and drop my thong in the water. I let it soak whilst I dry off and put on my jeans and Colton's shirt. I'll just have to go commando until it dries. I rinse the bubbles off and wring out the now clean thong. I put it on the towel rack to dry and clean my teeth. Sienna comes in behind me in her underwear and begins cleaning her teeth. I washed my thong with some shower gel. It's drying on the side. I tell her, spitting out the toothpaste and rinsing my brush. That's a good idea. I'll do that, she mumbles, her mouth full of toothpaste. I step out of the bathroom and leave her to it. I wonder if my parents know I'm missing. I already have a week off work, so that's not a problem. But my parents don't even have Colton's number to call him. It's only been 2 days, but I speak to my mom almost daily. Hopefully she just thinks I'm busy. We watch TV for an hour or so until I hear a howl outside. Did you hear that? I ask Sienna and she looks at me confusedly. Obviously not then. No, what you on about? She asks and another howl rings out. I roll my eyes and turn off the TV. Listen, I tell her. We both sit in silence for a few awkward moments, and I question whether I am just imaging things. But finally, 2 howls sound out at the same time. Something's happening. She jumps up and we both look at the door as the lock twists. The bulky guy comes in and orders us to hold out our wrists. I look over at Sienna in panic as he puts silver handcuffs round our wrists. What's going on? Sienna asks and bulky guy smirks. It seems your alpha has arrived. He smirks and I feel my heart skip a beat. That means Colton is here. Bulky guy opens the door and gestures for us to walk out. I exit into the hallway and look around to see a load of doors and stairs at the inn. Are there no windows in this place? I turn around to see Sienna suddenly knee bulky guy in the balls. I take the hint and begin running towards the stairs. I hear a thud behind, but I'm too scared to look over my shoulder. I race down the stairs, frantically looking around as I get to the bottom. It's mayhem. Wolves are everywhere attacking each other. I look behind me for Sienna, but I can't see her. I go to head back upstairs for her, but I hear a man shout at me. Without thinking, I run out of the front door, which has been ripped open, and I rush outside, grateful to see sunshine for the first time in 2 days. I can't save Sienna if I'm already caught. I need to get help. Neil, a voice barks in my ear and I panic as I feel the cold barrel of a gun pressed to my forehead. I slowly lower to my knees and look up at the black-haired, blue-eyed dickhead smirking down at me. Let's find out who you belong to, eh? He asks cockily. Before I can ask what he means, he grabs a fistful of my hair and yanks hard, making me squeal loudly. Tears form in my eyes from the pain. A shiver runs down my spine as I hear an all too familiar growl above the chaos taking place around us. Colton. I breathe a sigh of relief as I see him emerge from the fighting bodies of wolves in just a pair of shorts. I know it's totally not appropriate right now, but fuck me, he looks delicious. His expression is furious as he storms over to where I am currently kneeled with a gun to my head. So, you're the one who marked this bitch? The prick asks and Colton growls in warning. His eyes soften as he looks at me. You okay, Angel? He asks and I nod quickly. I'm just relieved to see him. Where is your alpha? The prick asks and Colton shrugs casually. I almost laugh. How does he remain so indifferent? Call him over or I'll shoot her. The prick threatens. He pushes the gun harder against my temple and I wince, unable to stop a couple tears leaking out. I'm fucking terrified right now. I jump as I hear something happen behind me. The prick groans and drops the gun. I spin on my knees to see a member of Jax's pack shaking his hand as if he's just punched someone. Before I can comprehend what is happening, Colton is in front of me, holding the prick up by his throat. Never threaten my girl, he growls and snaps the man's neck. I scream and fall back against the ground. My eyes are wide with the horror I've just witnessed. Colton turns around and grabs my cuffs. He pulls on the metal, and it snaps in his hands like plastic. I throw my arms around his neck as he grabs me by my waist and pulls me up to hug me. I press myself against his warm, hard chest and instantly feel better. Shit, Angel, I was going crazy without you. He whispers in my hair, and I squeeze my eyes shut, unable to process all this. I've missed him so much. Sienna is inside. We need to go get her, I quickly tell him, feeling awful for not going after my best friend. Don't worry, Jax is on it, but he might need some help, Colt says. He grabs the gun off the floor and turns to face me. Go hide in the trees. I'll come get you when this is over, he tells me, and I look at him like he's crazy. Hell no, not happening, I reply, and he glares at me in annoyance. Before he can argue further, I march in front of him towards the building. You are insufferable woman, he growls and grabs my hand, storming in front of me and pulling me behind his body.
Chapter 19 Sienna.
I knee the bulky guy in the balls and run out of the room after Kayla. I only make it a few meters before someone grabs my ankle and I fall on the floor, crushing my cuffed hands. I groan and look over my shoulder to see the bulky guy glaring at me, also lying on the floor, cupping his groin in pain. You're coming with me. I look up to see the rogue alpha smirking at me. He grabs my leg and drags me down the corridor. I'm grateful that I'm wearing a long-sleeve top as he pulls me across the carpet. "Let me go," I scream, trying to kick him, but he flips me onto my front and keeps dragging me. "Sienna." The most wonderful voice calls my name, and I glance up to see my gorgeous mate standing at the top of the stairs at the far end of the corridor. My body instantly reacts to his presence. "Jackson," I shout, screaming as the rogue alpha grabs my hair and drags me into a room. He locks the door and I smirk, knowing that's not going to stop my mate. I suck in a shocked breath as he grabs a gun and presses it to my neck. The door flies off and I flinch, feeling relieved as Jack steps into the room, shaking violently with anger. "Get your fucking hands off my mate," he growls lowly, stalking toward us. "Really? She's your mate. How come you haven't marked her?" The rogue alpha taunts. He pulls on my hair until I stand up. I take in a shaky breath as he pushes the gun harder into my neck. "I don't know what's wrong with you, Alpha. If she were mine, I'd mark her as soon as I saw her," he teases Jax, and I can see the fury in my mate's eyes as he slides his slimy hand up my body. "In fact, I'd mate her as soon as I saw her. Perhaps I should show you how it's done," he offers, and I squeeze my eyes shut. It hurts too much to see Jax's broken expression. "You need a man who's more alpha than him, honey," he says quietly in my ear, but I know Jax hears because he takes a step closer to us. "Call off your pack, or I'll kill her," he threatens, and I wince as he cocks the gun, pressing it against my skin. "I'll kill her like I killed Sophia," he taunts again, and I freeze. "I thought she died in a car accident." Jax's fists clench and his jaw ticks at the alpha's words. Before any of us can react, Colt bursts into the room and shoots the rogue alpha in the arm. His hands loosen slightly as he drops his gun. I jump out of the way when he falls to his knees, clutching his wounded arm. Jackson pulls me into his arms and presses his lips to mine. I kiss him back, not caring that tears are rolling down my cheeks. "Don't look, baby," he whispers. He pulls away from me and I keep my back turned, knowing that I don't want to see what he's going to do to that man. Kayla rushes over and hugs me and Colt breaks off my handcuffs. I try to ignore the screams of pain coming from behind me. My breath catches in my throat as they abruptly stop, and sickening crack resounds around the room. "It's over, let's get out of here," Colt says. He takes Kayla's hand in his and leads her out of the room. I jump as I feel Jax's arm wrap around my waist. I spin around to face him and press my face into his chest. "I was so worried about you," he whispers in my ear as I squeeze him tightly against me. "I'm okay. I missed you," I reply, leaning back so I can look into those beautiful green eyes of his. "I missed you too." He lifts me up so he can press his lips to mine. I kiss him back, wrapping my arms around his neck. I relish in the wonderful feel of his strong body. An unwelcome thought of why Kayla and I were in the forest to begin with pops into my head, but I ignore it for the time being and let Jax lead me out of the house that has been my prison for the last few days. I try not to look at the bodies strewn across the floor and the grass as Jax holds my hand and takes me to the tree line. I keep my eyes on the trees, knowing if I see the bodies, the image will stay with me for a long time. I step behind a tree and take off my clothes. I tie them securely around my ankle and shift. I don't say anything as we run through the trees back to our pack. I just follow him home. My mind is spinning, going over the last few days and today's events. It's clear we need to talk about his ex, because he's obviously not been honest with me, but I'm not sure right now is the time. To be honest, I'm emotionally drained and I don't feel like getting into it right now. "So, are we going to talk about it?" Jax asks the moment we step inside his house. I turn to face him. "Talk about what?" I reply, annoyed with myself for playing dumb. "Sophia," he says, and I feel uneasy at the sound of her name. "I'd like to shower first," I tell him, walking up the stairs before he can argue. "I've had a stressful morning, to say the least, and I just want to wash the smell of that rogue off of me, and perhaps burn these clothes." I spend longer in the shower than usual, trying to keep my mind off of the conversation I'm going to have when I get out. I scrub hard at my body, attempting to wash off all traces of that horrible rogue. When I finally step out, I'm as pink as a lobster from the hot temperature and incessant scrubbing. I dry myself off and get dressed into some of Jax's clothes. Damn, why does he have to smell so good? I'm relieved to see I've returned to my normal color by the time I come downstairs. Jackson is sat behind his desk, looking solemn and guilty. I sit down in front of him and cross my arms over my chest. We both look at each other for a moment in silence. "Explain then," I mutter petulantly and wait for his response. "Sophia was my fiancée," he starts, and I can't stop myself from cutting in. "Yes, I know. Your mother kindly filled me in, I comment bitterly and Jax flinches. My parents were the ones who arranged the marriage, he tells me. He stands up and drags his hand through his hair. We were together, but we both knew we were more like friends than anything. I loved her but not the way I love you. He looks at me and I try to keep my emotions off of my face. My parents wanted us to be together. They brought us together when we were young, and we mainly went along with it to keep them happy. He pauses and leans back against the wall. The night she was killed, we had a huge fight. I wanted to break off the engagement. She wanted to carry on a bit longer until Cade found his mate and the attention could be on him. She didn't want to disappoint my parents. I clasped my hands together, mentally stopping myself from wringing them. She left after we argued, and that's when 𝒂𝒃 murdered her. It killed me that our last conversation had been an argument, and my mum took a long time to forgive me for lying to her, he explains, looking exhausted. I've carried around this guilt, not knowing whether it was 𝒂𝒃 that killed her, not knowing who I could blame other than myself, he says, and I stand up and walk over to him. You can't blame yourself, I tell him quietly, wrapping my arms around his neck. He places his hands on my waist and rests his forehead on my shoulder. It's my fault. Had we not argued, she would not have left that night, he admits, and I shake my head, knowing he can't see it. Then 𝒂𝒃 would have got to her some other time. It is not your fault, you've avenged her. He's dead, I tell him, and his hands squeeze me tighter. I love you, he replies, pulling back to look at me. After all the shit you've been through for me, I can't explain how much I love you, Jax says, and my eyes tear up. I love you too, I whisper and lean in to kiss him.
Chapter 20 Sienna.
I wake before Jax the next morning. I roll over to see him lying on his side, facing me. He looks younger as he sleeps, more innocent. I begin running my fingers through his hair, slowly coaxing him awake. He opens his eyes and smiles at me, closing them again as he enjoys me playing with his hair. Morning, he greets me. His voice is thick and husky with sleep. Morning, I reply and snuggle against him. We cuddle for a while, cherishing being in each other's arms again. Let's do something fun today. I need to get out of the house, I tell him. I've just spent the past few days locked in a bedroom. I really need to get outside for a bit. What do you have in mind? He asks. His eyes are still closed as he rolls onto his back and stretches. I'm momentarily distracted by the tensing muscles in his chest and arms. I shake my head to clear it. What about the beach? I suggest. His eyes snap open and he grins at me. Yes, let's do it. Do you mind if I ask Kayla and Colton too? I think they need a break as much as we do, I ask, and Jax agrees. I text Kayla and she says her and Colton are going to come, but there's not much enthusiasm in her texts. I wonder if she and Colton have talked about him cheating on her yet. I consider talking to Jax about it, but it's not my relationship, not my business. I'm here to support Kayla, not talk about her relationship behind her back. I'm disappointed in Colton. I can only assume he made that stupid mistake right at the beginning of the relationship and regrets it now. We have some breakfast and get ready. I stop by to see Cade before we leave. He had been visiting family out of the country and had rushed back when he heard what had happened to Kayla and I. I drop in on him just to reassure him that we are indeed completely okay. I just can't believe I go away for a couple of days and suddenly you and Kayla are kidnapped. He rolls his eyes. I mean, honestly, you could have just asked me to stay instead of carrying out these dramatic cries for attention, he jokes. I'm sorry, next time I'll try not to get kidnapped, I reply, and he smiles. Please do, it was all very stressful, he comments but then leans in closer. On a serious note, you scared the life out of me, don't do it again, he warns. Ah, Cade, are those tears I see? I tease him as his eyes shine. Of course not, he mutters and blinks rapidly. I stay a little longer and offer for him to join us at the beach, but his exams are coming up and he opts to stay and revise. So glad that's not me right now. I'm off to the beach, baby. Colton is caught up with training, so it's just the three of us in the car when we drive to the coastline. We unload the car and set up our pitch on the sand. I wait until Jax decides to brave the cold water to speak to Kayla. So, how is it with Colton? Have you spoken to him? I ask her and she grimaces. We didn't really have a chance to speak yesterday, what with everything that happened. When I woke up this morning he had left a note and gone to training with the patrol team. I text him and he said he'll meet us here. She pauses to glance behind us. He should be here soon actually. I don't think he even knows I'm mad or that I know about that Vicky girl. Guys are oblivious honestly, she mutters and lays back down the towel. Well, I think you definitely need to speak to him, I reply, just as we both jump at the sound of a motorbike engine pulling up and turning off. Seconds later, Colton appears with his helmet tucked under his arm. "Hello ladies," he greets us. I give him a forced, tight smile and turn to see that Kayla has stood up and is hurrying down to the water. Colton frowns and I feel briefly sorry for him. Briefly. "Guess she really wanted a dip," I say jokingly, but his attention is on her retreating form. To avoid the awkwardness of the situation, I join Jax and a shivering Kayla in the water. To make things worse, when Colton comes down to the water, Kayla gets out and returns to the towels. "Seriously, what is going on?" Colton demands, looking accusingly at Jax, and I bless him. Jax is just as confused as Colton. "I think you need to go talk to her," I tell him. He frowns and wades out of the water towards her. "What's going on there?" Jax asks, and I sigh and explain the situation to him.
Kayla's POV.
I freeze as I hear Colton call my name. I wrap the towel tightly around myself for some sort of protection and spin to face him. He storms over, with both a hurt and pissed off look on his gorgeous face. Droplets of water run down his muscular, inked chest. It's distracting. What the hell is going on? What have I done? He asks and I glare at him. "It's more who you've done," I retort, and he has the gall to look confused. "What?" "I bumped into your friend Vicky," I tell him, and his eyes widen in surprise and then guilt. "Look, it's not what you think," he replies, and I scoff. "It was before I met you." "Apparently not," I snap and cross my arms over my chest. "Wait, what do you mean?" he asks confusedly, and his lack of understanding irritates me. Is he playing dumb on purpose? "Vicky told me that you two slept together the day you met me. Was meeting your mate that traumatic you had to go and console yourself in the arms of your girlfriend?" I shout, unable to keep myself calm as jealousy courses through me. A look of realization dawns on Colton's face. He sighs and runs his hand through his wet hair. "Yes, I slept with her, but it was in the morning, way before I met you. I called things off with her the moment I met you." He insists and I'm tempted to believe him, but it's hard. "I promise you, I wouldn't even look at another girl now," he pleads, stepping towards me and closing the distance between us. "You are everything I want. There is nothing between me and her, and I swear I haven't gone near her since I met you." I let him wrap his arms around me and I lean my head on his chest. "Promise," I mumble against his chest, feeling it vibrate as he chuckles. "I promise." In the background, I hear Jax and Sienna cheering.
Thank you for joining me on this romance. Chapter 21 Sienna.
Unsurprisingly, the day continues on a much happier note. When we leave, Kayla chooses to travel home with Colton on the back of his motorbike instead of in the car with Jackson and I. I'm so glad they worked that out. I couldn't imagine Colton cheating on her, I say to Jax as I recline into my seat. I know he may have made some mistakes, but he's not a cheater. When we get back to his house, it's the middle of the afternoon and Jax tells me he has to go over to his office in the pack house to go over some things for the day. I lay down on the sofa and flip through the channels, trying to find something to watch to pass the time. Finding nothing that holds my interest, I turn off the TV and lie back against the cushions. My mind starts to wander, and I think of Colton and Kayla, marked, mated and happy. Kayla has yet to tell her parents, but I've known them since I was a child, and they will be happy for her, no matter what pack her mate is a member of. My parents, however, are a completely different story. My father will probably have a coronary, and my mother will say I've crushed her dreams for me. I can just see it now. And as for Jax's parents, well, his father's a raging psychopath with ridiculous rules on arresting and killing trespassers on sight, slaughtering neighboring packs for extra territory, to name a few. And his mother hates me, literally, despises me and makes no attempt at hiding her contempt for me. In her eyes, Sophia will always be the ideal match for her son. I will never make the cut. Hopefully, over time she will come to accept me. His father and I don't need to see eye to eye, but life would be easier if his parents were slightly different. Also, Kate is scared of telling his parents how he really feels. Any parents who aren't supportive of their child's sexual orientation are not good parents in my opinion. How do I hide from Jax that I don't like his parents? How does Jax deal with the fact my parents won't like him? Why can't we all just be a happy family? I'm still lost in thought when Jax enters the house a couple of hours later. I jump as the door slams, and I look over to see him walk in. I can see from his face how stressed he is. He scowls and runs a hand through his dark hair. What's wrong? I call, but he ignores me and storms upstairs. I frown to myself and wonder what on earth has happened. I stand up when I hear him coming back down the stairs. Jax walks straight past the living room and into the kitchen. A second later, the back door slams shut. What the fuck? I run to the window and see Jax disappearing into the trees with a tail. Something bad must have happened for him to need to go run it off, but hopefully he will talk to me about it when he is back. I'm not particularly hungry, but I know I should eat. I make some extra dinner in case he is hungry when he gets back. By 10 o'clock, he has still not returned, and I get ready for bed. I'm almost asleep in our bed when the back door bangs and I feel a flood of relief that he is home. Jax showers and then slides into bed next to me. I roll over and once he sees that I'm awake, he pulls me into his arms. I'm sorry about earlier, he apologizes and kisses my forehead. Don't worry about it, I reply. Is everything all right? He sighs heavily. It's my father. Although he has technically given the pack over to me, he is involved with everything. He's overbearing and questions anything I do. In his mind, it's still his pack and I don't know how to tell him to back off. He will see it as a challenge. You know how aggressive he is. I chew my bottom lip, unsure how to answer. I can understand why that might be frustrating, but he's run this pack for years. It must be difficult for him to hand it over, I say, and Jax grunts. Are his suggestions not useful? Surely you value his opinion. They are, but he's determined to keep the Black Mountain Pack a feared name. I was never fully on board with his ruthless tactics, but even more so now I have met you. I want to try and improve our relationships with other packs and mend our reputation. He sits up in bed and leans back on me as I gently massage his shoulders. Of course I want our pack to be known and respected, but I also want to have allies, not enemies. I want people to respect us, not fear us. Spoken like a true alpha, I whisper and kiss his shoulder. At breakfast the next morning, I receive a text from my mom and realize it has been too long since I last saw her. On the drive over to the house, I decide to tell her about Jax and I. No time like the present. I've barely parked my car before Mum opens the door and ushers me inside. You haven't been home in weeks, Mum says dramatically, and I roll my eyes. It hasn't been that long, Mum. It has. Sit down and tell me everything. She gestures to the sofa. Everything. Perhaps I'll skip the part about being kidnapped. Here goes nothing. I met my mate, I say, and watch her carefully to try and gauge her reaction. She blinks twice and then her face breaks out into a grin. She squeals and throws her hands in the air. This is amazing. Tell me all about him. His name is Jackson. He's 25 and he's an alpha, I reply, and she squeals again. An alpha? Oh, how perfect. I knew you had great things ahead of you, my daughter, Aluna. Oh my gosh, wait till I tell your father, he's going to be over the moon. She gushes and I frown. I don't think she knows Dad at all. He will definitely not be over the moon. Mum, there's just one more thing, I tell her, but she bustles past me and into the kitchen. Is it too early for champagne? Oh, what the hell, we're celebrating. Now, where did I put those glasses? She mumbles to herself as she digs out a huge bottle of champagne from the back of the fridge. Mom, seriously, listen to me. I try again, but she's clinking about with champagne flutes. We've been saving this for a special occasion, and this is the perfect occasion. She glances at the clock and shrugs. Oh well, we can add some orange juice to make it more appropriate. Mum, I yell and she stops moving to look at me. What is it, darling? There's no need to shout. Mum, he's alpha of the Black Mountain Pack. I force the words out. My heart sinks as the smile drops from her face, and she suddenly looks ashen. Pardon, she whispers and I nod, confirming her fear that she heard me correctly. With shaking hands, she reaches for one of the bar stools and slowly sits down. Black Mountain, she mumbles to herself. Mum, it's really not that bad. He's changing it. He's going to build all the bridges they've burned. I attempt to reassure her, but a look of anger comes over her pale face. Bridges they've burned. Sienna, they've burned a lot more than bridges, I can tell you that. That pack is cruel, barbaric, and oh goddess, this can't be happening. She groans and presses her palm to her forehead. Listen to me, he's a great guy, he treats me well and he loves his pack. He'll change things, you'll see. I take her hands in mine and squeeze them. She looks up at me with worried eyes. Promise me he's treating you well, she asks, and I smile. Of course he is. I was taught by a very strong woman to leave if they don't treat you well, I reply, and she gives me a weak smile. It's honestly okay, Mum. I promise. I pull her in for a hug and she sighs. I'm not sure how I'm going to tell your father, but I think it best you not be here when I do, she suggests, and I don't need to be told twice. I leave her to the wrath of my dad because Goddess knows if anyone can calm him down, she can.
Chapter 22 Sienna.
I frown as I check my phone for probably the 100th time. Nothing. I texted Cade and called him 2 days ago, yet I still haven't heard from him. Have you spoken to him at all? I ask Jax and he shakes his head. At least I know he's not ignoring me personally, but it does worry me a little. He usually responds so quickly. Recently, he's been working at the South Forest Pack. It's only an hour away, but he's not been at our pack house each time I've stopped by. I decide to try again. It is Saturday after all, and he shouldn't be working. I step out of Jax's house and begin walking across the grass towards the pack house. I feel a comforting sense of relief as Cade emerges from the front door and comes down the steps. Cade, I call loudly, but he doesn't even look up. He storms towards the trees and disappears. I stop walking and think about what I've just seen. That was weird. Feeling a little hurt, I turn back to the house and come inside. Not there. Jax asks and I tow my shoes off. He ignored me and went into the trees, I answer, and Jax frowns. That's weird. Maybe he wasn't concentrating and didn't hear you. He tries to reassure me and kisses my forehead. Maybe, I mumble, not convinced. I meet up with Kayla and distract myself from the weird Cade situation. She mentions the fact that Jax and I haven't mated yet, and I form an idea to remedy that. I have wanted to complete our process for a while now, ever since the whole kidnapping thing. I know he's the one. I want to be his Luna. Why am I still fighting this? I go out to the cabin Jax was chained up in on the last full moon and change the sheets on the bed. I light candles and clean the place. As evening approaches, I begin to cook Jax's favorite meal. My phone buzzes with a text as I put the chicken in the oven. Where are you? I smile and reply to Jax's text, letting him know where I am and that I'm waiting. 5 minutes later, the front door opens and Jax appears in the kitchen with a surprised look on his beautiful face. I thought we could spend the night here, I say as I walk over and wrap my arms around his neck. That sounds like a good idea, he replies and kisses down my jaw to my neck. I made your favorite meal, but I didn't get dessert. I trail off, hoping he understands what I'm implying. He pulls back and looks at me. Are you sure? He asks carefully, but I can see the excitement in his eyes. Bless him, he's had to wait so long. Yes, I'm sure, I whisper, and he leans down to kiss me. His lips move skillfully against mine. He nips my bottom lip with his teeth and squeezes my waist. Maybe we should skip dinner and go straight to dessert. He asks hopefully, his eyes dark with desire. Nice try, but I put a lot of effort into dinner, so we're eating it. I tease and slip out of his grip and over to the oven. Besides, it's ready, grab yourself a drink. I seat us on opposite sides of the table, so even with his huge arms he can't reach across to me. Jax manages to calm himself down enough to enjoy the meal, and I feel happy watching him wolf it down. I clear away our plates and the two of us clean the little amount there is to wash up. I dry my hands on the tea towel and turn to face him, suddenly feeling nervous. I swallow hard when he begins stalking towards me. His hands are casually at his sides, but I know how quickly he can grab me. Feeling playful, I turn on my heel and run the opposite way around the island, putting it between us. Jax smirks and leans forward on the balls of his feet, ready to pounce. Neither of us say a word as we play cat and mouse around the island. I creep round, and he matches my every step. I keep moving until I'm positioned with the staircase behind me. I quickly turn and run towards the staircase. My heart hammers wildly in my chest when I hear his heavy footsteps not far behind. I leap up the stairs, taking 2 at a time, grabbing hold of the banister to propel me forwards. I sprint along the landing and practically throw myself into the bathroom. I slam the door shutting, getting one last glimpse of his determined face before locking the door. It shakes as his weight is thrown against it. Jax, I call out, letting him hear the fatigue in my voice from the chase. I need a moment. I'll be out soon, okay? Okay, I hear his quiet assent. I take a moment to catch my breath back, then I clean my teeth. I cautiously open the door to find Jax sitting leisurely on the bed on his phone. He looks up and smiles. He wastes no time in dropping his phone and coming over. He takes my face in his hands and presses his lips to mine. I taste the mint on his tongue and realize he cleaned his teeth also. Our tongues move against one another. He buries his hands in my hair and I grip his biceps tightly, loving the feel of his mouth and hands on me. We pull away, our breathing heavy, and the scent of our desire for one another lingers in the air. My hands shake as he slowly lifts my top up over my head. I help him by raising my arms and soon my top is discarded on the floor. I'm not a virgin, but it's been a long time and I know how important it is this time. It's not just fucking, it's mating. Jax slides one of my bra straps down and kisses along the top of my breasts. With skilled hands, he reaches to my back and snaps open my bra with one targeted pinch. I let it slip down my arms and onto the floor. I anxiously glance at the window and feel relieved when I see he has closed the curtains. It's just the two of us in this room. He leads me back, so the back of my knees hit the mattress and I lay down on the bed. I watch with hungry eyes as he slides his t-shirt off, revealing the vast expanses of tanned muscle and tattoos. Even if the night stopped here, I'd be satisfied. The man is a dessert in himself. He smirks at me and opens his mouth, but I beat him to it. If you're going to ask if I like what I see, I most definitely do, I say cockily, and he narrows his eyes at me, annoyed I've stolen his line. His dark eyes remain on me as he undoes his jeans and takes them off, leaving him in nothing but a pair of black boxers that are tempting massively. My thighs clench with desire in response. Jax makes quick work of my jeans, pulling them off and then wrapping his fingers around my thong. He glances up at me, a question in his eyes. My heart bursts at the respect he is giving me. He is silently asking me if I want to continue, if he's allowed to remove my thong. I don't think I could love this man anymore. Is there anything more sexy than a guy that actually cares if you're having a good time, or even checks to see if you want it? All men should be like this. It's so wrong that not all of them are. I nod eagerly and he smiles, revealing his beautiful white teeth and a dimple that makes me weak. He slides off my thong and throws it on the floor with the rest of our clothes. My breath catches in my throat as he presses a warm kiss to my thigh, near my knee. I clench my fists in anticipation when he begins peppering gentle kisses up my thighs, alternating sides as he nears the one place I wish he would kiss. I hold my breath unknowingly when he gets close, only releasing it when he finally puts me out of my misery and presses an open-mouthed kiss right over my clit. I gasp loudly and arch my back off the bed. He's barely touched me, and I feel as though I'm coming apart. I bite down hard on my bottom lip, sucking it into my mouth so I don't bring the place down with my breathy moans as my mate pleasures me. He trails his tongue up and down my slit, teasing me in a way that has my head thrashing against the duvet. His large hands grip my thighs, holding my quivering hips in place as he begins circling my clit with tongue. His tongue moves faster, and my bottom lip slips from my teeth. I gasp loudly and grip the duvet with my hands. Jackson, I moan, and seconds later, my orgasm hits. It rolls in waves through my body and my hips have a life of their own, moving back and forward against his skilled tongue, prolonging my pleasure. I finally come down from my high, my eyes tightly closed and my breathing shallow and uneven. He gently blows on my clit and presses another kiss to it before moving up my body. My eyes fly open when his hot mouth surrounds my nipple. He twirls his tongue around it before sucking it into his mouth. His hand reaches up to tweak the other one and I try to hold back my groans. "You're beautiful," he whispers, and I wonder how he can be so sexy yet so loving at the same time. I pull him up to kiss me, his tongue battling against mine. Whilst he's distracted, I reach down and slip my hand into his boxers. I grip his cock tightly and he groans into my mouth. I pull away and hook my two big toes in his boxers, pushing them down his legs. He laughs at my dexterous feat and adds his boxers to the pile of clothes. I take him in my hand again and begin pumping it up and down, loving the pleasure on his face and knowing I'm the cause of it. His eyes briefly close and I take the opportunity to maneuver myself down the bed. I eagerly wrap my mouth around his cock and suck, smiling internally when he hisses in surprise and pleasure. He sits back as I get to work, moving my hand up and down the base whilst my mouth sucks on the tip. I concentrate hard, differing the suction and twirling my tongue around it. I reach down with my other hand and gently caress his scrotum, wanting to give him as much pleasure as possible. I will never tire of hearing the quiet grunts and groans leave his mouth as I suck him. His hips begin moving with my pace, pushing his cock further down my throat so it bumps the back of my mouth. "Stop," he breathes pleadingly, pulling his cock out of my mouth with a pop. "You're going to make me come," he admits sheepishly, and I grin, wiping my mouth with the back of my hand. I lay back on the bed and spread my willing legs as an invitation. He laughs, but I see the desire swirling in his eyes. Jax leans over me. Taking his member in his hand, he rubs up and down my slit a few times before aligning it with my entrance. I try to relax my muscles and take a deep breath as he pushes the tip inside. The first inch feels wonderful. It makes my eyes want to roll back in my head. The many, many inches after that are unbearable. I whimper as pain erupts between my legs. I feel as though I'm split in two when he apologizes and pushes into the hilt. I breathe quickly and try to adjust to his size. Don't move, I hiss and close my eyes tightly. I'm so sorry, I love you, he whispers. I open one eye to peek at his face and feel bad when I see how guilty he looks. It's okay. I force a smile and lift my legs so they are wrapped around his waist, allowing him to go deeper. You can move now, I whisper and cautiously. He pulls out and slowly pushes back in. It's sore, but not as bad, no burning. I dig my nails into his back as he moves at a slow pace, in and out. A few moments later and the pain dissipates. My tense muscles relax, and I wrap my arms around his neck, bringing him down to kiss me. Our lips mash against each other. It's sloppy due to our moving pelvises, but I can't bear not kissing him. We pull back briefly to breathe, our breaths mingling together in each other's faces. I moan and throw my head back as he bumps pleasurably against the top of my cervix. Jax kneels up and holds one of my thighs so he can increase his speed. He pounds into me relentlessly, my breasts bounce lewdly with every thrust. Jax watches them enraptured. I sense he is close because he slows his pace, trying to regain control of himself. I push gently on his chest, wordlessly letting him know I would like to be on top. He sits with his back against the headboard, and I slide onto his lip. His cock slips inside me as if it is the most naturally thing in the world. I guess it is. I support myself by placing my hands on his shoulders and lift myself up with my thighs and then back down again. He closes his eyes with pleasure as I ride him, his mouth slightly parted. It's the sexiest sight I've ever seen. I pick up the pace, pushing my thighs harder, riding him faster. His hands grip my waist, his thumbs almost touching on my stomach because his hands are that big. He helps me along, lifting me up and down on his cock. I feel my orgasm starting to build, his too, his eyes cloud with desire. Mine, he breathes and leans forward to kiss my neck. Mine, I reply, moving my head to one side to allow him better access. His grip tightens and I know he's close, so I lift myself higher, stroking his cock more each time I raise up and slide down. My climax hits with an intensity that takes my breath away. I clench around him, and he groans my name. I'm unable to keep riding him, so he moves his hips for the both of us. I feel his teeth sink into where my neck meets my shoulder, marking me. The pleasure intensifies impossibly, and stars burst in my vision. I manage to concentrate enough to lean down and sink my teeth into his neck, marking his as mine. He moans under my bite, and I feel so much pleasure and love. We collapse onto each other, spent and sated.
Chapter 23 Sienna.
Good morning, Luna. Jax's husky voice stirs me from my sleep, and I smile with my eyes still closed. Good morning, Alpha, I mumble back, burying my face in the curve of his shoulder. I throw my leg over his body and tuck myself up against him. Last night was amazing, he says quietly, and I peek up at him. It really was. I kiss his cheek and snuggle further into his arms. We take our time getting up. Almost an hour later we finally emerge from the bed to shower, together. After devouring breakfast, we walk hand in hand back to the house. We have only just got back in when there's a knock at the front door. I'll get it. I call out and head down the hallway. I'm shocked to see Cade standing outside. Come in, I step to one side to let Cade in. He nods and thanks, and we go through to the kitchen. Hey, Jax greets him, and Cade takes a seat on one of the bar stools. I've met my mate, he says bluntly, and we both look at him in surprise. Before we can say anything, he continues, he's a guy, obviously, and Mum and Dad are not happy. They refuse to accept him into the pack. There's anger and hurt in his voice. But Dad is not Alpha, he can't refuse to let someone join, Jax answers. I can hear how irritated he is having his Alpha title ignored. But Mum is still Luna, Cade retorts. Jax smiles, putting his arm around my shoulders. Not anymore. Sienna is Luna now, Jax says proudly. Cade's eyes go straight to the new mark on my neck, and he smiles. Congrats, guys. Hug, at least that means he can join the pack. Cade groans and puts his head in his hands, his fingers nodding into his blonde hair. They won't accept him, though. They don't want me to be gay, he tells us, and his voice breaks. I rush over and put my arms around him. Hey, we love you, it doesn't matter what they think, I reassure him, and Jax nods. This is bullshit. I'll speak to Mum and Dad, Jax announces and storms out of the house.
Jax's POV.
My fists clench as I storm over to the pack house. How dare our parents try and control Cade's life? We have always been different to them. It's only recently that I've been getting more independence, that I've noticed just how much they controlled before. A word, please. I find my parents in the kitchen and I hold my office door open for them to come inside. They both take the seats in front of the desk, but I remain standing. Cade just informed me that you refuse to let his mate join the pack. I tell them. My father scoffs at the word mate. That boy is not his mate. We were fine with him experimenting. But we all know that when it comes down to it, he should be mated with a woman, like it's supposed to be. Dad scowls and my mouth drops open in shock. Don't look so surprised, Jackson. What do you expect? We need you two to carry on our family name, produce new alphas. How is he supposed to do that with another man? It's impossible. She huffs and crosses her arms. Who Cade has as a mate is none of your business. Even you don't agree with it. Keep your mouth shut. I argue and they both glare at me. Whilst I am Luna, that boy is not going to be part of our pack. Corrupting Cade and getting his head filled with silly fantasies. Mother snaps and I smirk. Well, it's a good thing you're not Luna anymore, isn't it? I retort and her face drops. What? You marked her? Mum splutters angrily. Her name is Sienna, and she's your new Luna, I say proudly and lean against my desk. My father puts his head in his hands and Mum leaps to her feet. She's not worthy of you, Jackson. She's a fool. Why on earth you couldn't just mate Sophia? Everything would have been so much better. You've ruined it. She runs her hands through her hair in frustration and I stare at a woman I no longer recognize. I think you need to leave, I order quietly. And she turns to face me. We can discuss this later if you need some time. You need to think about what you have done and how you're going to fix this, she starts, but I interrupt. You misunderstood. I take a step towards her. I mean, you need to leave this pack. I glance at my father. Both of you. You are exiled from this pack. I don't want to see you until your attitudes have changed. They remain shocked into silence as I walk over and open the door for them. You know how to contact me if you decide to change your minds, but I will not tolerate you insulting your Luna and my brother. It is not acceptable. I wouldn't take it from any other pack member. I will not make excuses because you are my parents. Leave, I order, and my father begins to shout abuse at me. Leave now, I bellow and the walls shake. Neither of them can deny an alpha order and they stomp out of the room. I close the door behind them and collapse into my chair. I sit back for a few moments, thinking about what has just happened and trying to calm myself down. But before long, I'm back out of my chair and storming across the square to my house.
Sienna's POV.
Cade and I both look at the archway to the hall when we hear the front door slam. Are you all right? I ask Jax. He has a face like thunder and his fists are clenched. I've just kicked our parents out of the pack, he informs us through gritted teeth. I stare at him in shock and Cade lets out a whoop of joy. He stands and fist bumps the air. Are you serious? Thank you, brother. Cade gives Jax a brief hug and leaves the house, no doubt rushing to tell his mate the good news. When we are alone, I stand and walk over to Jax, wrapping my arms around his waist. How do you feel about this? It must have been a hard decision to make, I say, reaching up on my tiptoes to press a chaste kiss to his lips. It was actually the easiest decision I've ever made. He pulls out of my grip, steps back and runs his hand through his hair. I should have done it a long time ago. They wouldn't accept Cade, he pauses, and I complete the sentence for him. Or me, I say quietly, and he nods once, with his lips in a tight line. They don't deserve to be part of this pack when they can't respect the alpha's decisions, or those of their family. He reaches out and pulls me into his arms again, kissing my forehead. I worry that he might regret his choice. Jack senses my nerves and tightens his grip on me. I made the right choice, Sienna. I made it for my brother, but I also made it for us. He takes my face in his rough hands so I meet his eyes. I love you. I will choose you every single time, always, he promises, and I feel tears of happiness prick my eyes as I squeeze him tightly. I love you too, Jax, I reply, and he kisses me. His lips mold against mine and our tongues meet in an excited tangle. My parents might return, he says abruptly, pulling back to look down at me. They might apologize, or they may bring trouble, but it's nothing we can't handle. The confidence in his voice reassures me. I trust him implicitly. Seeing as you've had such a successful day with your parents, do you want to meet mine? I offer to him with a laugh. Jax considers it and then shrugs. Go on, then. We might as well kill two birds with one stone. He grimaces. Poor choice of words, sorry. Really, I respond, surprised that he has agreed. I need to meet them eventually, Sienna, he responds. They're your parents. Okay, I'll call Mum and see if they're free. 10 minutes later, I've spoken to my mum, and she has arranged for us to come over for lunch. Cade calls his mate and updates him on the news. He invites him over for dinner with us tonight to celebrate him joining the pack. We leave early for my parents to make sure that we arrive on time. Good luck, Cade says as we lock up the house. I'll see you this evening and you can finally meet my mate.
Chapter 24 Sienna.
I'm nervous as hell when we pull up in front of my parents' house. My mum is no doubt trying to keep my dad calm inside the house. I really hope that this goes well. I hold Jax's hand tightly as we walk up to the door. I ring the bell and wait for our fate. The door opens and my mother gives us a wide, but forced, smile. "Sienna, darling, you must be Jax," she says warmly. "It's lovely to meet you. Come inside." We step into the house and the smell of home-cooked food reaches my nose. My dad is sat in the living room, reading the paper. He looks at Jax and I over the top of the paper when we step into the room. With a sigh, he folds it up and stands. He pulls me into a hug whilst looking Jax up and down wearily. "Are you all right?" he asks me. "Is he treating you well?" He asks me like Jax isn't stood right next to me. I roll my eyes at him. "Daddy, he's amazing, don't be like that. This is my mate, Jax, be nice," I tell him pointedly. "It's a pleasure to meet you, sir," Jax says and offers his hand. My dad glares at him a bit but shakes his hand reluctantly. "You too," he grumbles. "Drinks, anyone?" Mum asks from the doorway. I grab Jax's hand, not wanting to leave him alone with my grumpy dad and pull him through to the kitchen. "How is Dad gonna be, do you think?" I ask Mum as she pours us drinks. "I don't know," she says tiredly. "I threatened him with no dinner if he doesn't behave, but now, I think he's going to eat a big lunch and fill himself up, you know. We'll leave if he gets rude." "I don't think he will, Sienna. He's not keen on your pack, Jax," she explains. "It's not personal to you, it's about your pack's history." "It's my dad's reputation, I know," Jax replies. "But, if it makes your husband feel any better, I exiled my parents from my pack this afternoon." Shock comes over my mother's face. "You did?" "Yes, they were not accepting of my brother's mate. And a whole bunch of other things. They can come back if they have a change of heart, which I doubt." "I'm so sorry." Jax smiles. "Thank you, but I'm not. Now, is there anything you want me to do?" "Set the table." And just like that, my mother loves Jax. One parent down, one to go. We sit around the table, cutlery clinking on plates, silence setting in like fog around us. "So, Jax, tell us about your plans for the pack now that you are alpha," my mother says, attempting to start conversation. "Sure," my mate replies easily. "Firstly, I'm going to prioritize mending some of the bridges my father burned with our allies." My father snorts from his end of the table. "Good luck with that," he mutters under his breath. Jax remains unfazed. "It will definitely take work. I will have to prove that I am nothing like my father, but I am willing to go the distance and put in the work." I don't miss the double meaning to his words. He's looking pointedly at my father as he says this. "It will take time, but, hopefully, I can make the Black Mountain Pack a respected name again, one that isn't spoken in fear. That's the goal, anyway." "That sounds wonderful. I'm glad that you're changing things," Mum says proudly. Dad remains relatively silent for the meal. Like my mum predicted, he focuses on eating as much food as possible, just in case the offer of dinner is retracted, and he has to actually cook for himself for once. After we've finished helping Mum clear up, we go through to the living room for an awkward cup of coffee. Eventually, things get too much, and I ask to speak to my dad alone in his study. He shuts the door behind us and faces me. His arms are crossed over his chest and he's frowning deeply. "What is it, Sienna?" "You're being rude to my mate for no reason," I tell him bluntly. He narrows his eyes at me. "It is not without reason, Sienna, and you know it. I completely understand why you don't like his pack and what his father did, but there is no justification for taking it out on my mate," I respond firmly. "Jax has done nothing but be good to me. He has supported me and looked after me more than you know. I neglected to tell my parents about mine and Kayla's kidnapping. I thought it was cause unnecessary stress. Siak is dead, there is no threat to us anymore. Besides, my dad doesn't need any more ammunition against my mate. Jax is a great alpha. He is making sure that the pack is respected again. He is making amends for his father's behavior. Do you know that, just this morning, he exiled his parents from the pack?" Surprise comes over my father's face. He doesn't know the lengths Jax is willing to go to improve the pack. He kicked them out because they didn't agree with his actions. "He's a good guy, Dad. I wish you would give him a chance." My father is quiet for a long time. I start to worry that he is going to ask us to leave. Eventually, he sighs and runs his hand through his hair. "I'm sorry, Sienna. I can see that he is very different to his father, at least, from what I've heard. I'm pleased to hear that his parents are not in the pack anymore. I don't want you anywhere near their bad influence. I will give Jax a chance to prove himself. I smile gratefully. That's all he wants, Dad. When we go to leave, Dad actually shakes Jax's hand this time. We're making progress. We stop by the supermarket on the way home and buy ingredients for tonight's dinner. We're having Cade and his mate round. I want to cook something special for them. I'm bursting with excitement when Cade and his mate arrive. Jax is in the kitchen, adding the final touches to dinner. Cade and his mate are on the doorstep, holding a bottle of wine and a bunch of flowers. Come in. I greet them excitedly and usher them inside. See, this is my mate, Jude. Jude, this is Sienna. Jude has dark blonde hair and pale hazel eyes. He gives me a warm smile and then holds out his hand to me. I push his hand out of the way and then pull him into a hug. It's so nice to meet you, Jude. Come into the kitchen and meet my mate. Jax turns around from the oven when we enter. He shakes Jude's hand. Alpha Jax, it's great to meet you, Jude says politely. Please, just call me Jax. Your family now, Jax replies and slaps Cade on the back. We serve up dinner a few minutes later and take a seat around the table. Poor Jude is asked a million questions from us. I'm grinning from ear to ear. It makes me so happy to see how loved up Cade is. He has been waiting to meet his mate for so long, he finally has him. They stay for a few hours before taking their leave. I help Jax clear up and then we sit on the sofa for a while, discussing what a day it has been. You survived exiling your parents, meeting my parents and meeting Cade's boyfriend, I tell Jax. I'm so proud of you. He grins at me. It's been a hell of a day. I'm glad it's over, to be honest. Me, too. I'm so pleased for Cade, though. He's so happy. Yeah, it's good to see him like that. Life is better when you're with your mate. Damn right, I reply with a chuckle. Jax leans in and kisses me softly. I kiss him back more firmly, wanting more. How about I take you upstairs and show you just how much you mean to me? He offers, kissing his way along my jaw and down my neck. He sucks gently on his mark and pleasurable tingles shoot through my body. I lace my fingers in his dark hair and manage to find my voice. Yes please, Alpha.
The end.